Right, legends. I clicked the Streamer Uniente button. What is crack-oo lacking? Today, legends, it is... It's going to do it. There we go. Today is my birthday, legends. I am 33 years of age. Let's do this one as well. Look, watch this. 33 years of age. 33 years of age. Balloons everywhere. Crack-oo lacking. What's crack-a-lacking? Guys, we're going to get into the markets. How you doing, Peter? All good, brother?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Happy birthday.
Thanks, bro. Any other jokes you got?
No, I ain't got many jokes.
You ain't got them fresh off the button. They take a while to compute. Well, how old are you, though? You're 38.
35, brother.
Ooh, I'm 33. Shit. All right, guys, you know how it goes. I'll do the full market update to beginning, and then we're going to go through loads of news stories. And, guys, it is time. The time has come. I'm going to speak about what that means in the title in a minute, because the time has come, legends, for the United Kingdom. But, guys, we're going to go through the market update. We're going to go through everything I'm going to go through in terms of the price charts. We'll look at Bitcoin. We'll look at the stock market. You know what the drill is. Actually, a nice little bounce today. Got some investments. Nvidia's doing its stuff. Gold. We won't go through price versus value today, but we still are in significant resistance. We'll look at the B2C charts. We'll go through this as well. This is actually a tweet I did. It got a pretty decent amount of people saw this, actually. About 27,000 people saw that tweet. And I will explain further and elaborate further into really what I think about it. Because I think the Trump bubble is probably what they're going to call it, but actually it's the AI bubble. Or you could call it like the everything AI. It's specifically because obviously there's a lot of this is to do with people using the stock market as a safe haven. They were actually kind of using it as money, where they would be using gold as well and Bitcoin. But anyway, guys, we'll go through all the charts right now. We'll start with Bitcoin, guys. Actually, there's a trade setup about to play out literally now. So here, let me see if I can get this up for you. In my VIP group, I think it's the last signal. So I have been talking about this, guys. Very simple. I said yellow line, look for a buy. So you don't want to try and play or trade the breakouts. You want to wait for the retest of the break. So when it actually gets the break, you want to play the retest trade. So actually, there's a pretty nice long here, guys, actually, for Bitcoin. In terms of a lower time frame, SR flip long. My bot's already in, but you could get something like that, guys. And I would say the risk to reward on that's very, very good. Also, have your stop losses below the lower wicks. You could even go a little bit higher than that into the mid-range. But you might get the mid-range for support as well. Or it could be a sweep here, and then it goes, okay? So you got a couple of different points you can aim for a trade. Here's a buy. I would say the mid-range as well. And there's two potential bounce trades to get another higher low and then potentially move up towards that middle range of the higher time frame perspective, even going up towards maybe 116. Obviously, this is crucial, though, as well, guys. Once you... Confirmation will be this. Say this happens, you get the buy, and you break it decisively. Getting above that area resistance is quite likely we're going to see higher prices, guys. And it could result in Bitcoin actually recovering. Or let's just say, you know, the price can actually rally back and take all of this downside price action and actually probably do it in pretty quick succession. Maybe something like this, and then back into here. Right. And then we'll have to see if we get a higher low or a lower, a lower high or a higher high, depending on what we do when we get there. But guys, it's looking pretty good to me, actually. I would say that Bitcoin, we're back above this low wick. You know, I was saying here, legends, that if we do see the wick get lost on a decisive close, and that would be a higher time frame perspective. So right now we're on the weekly time frame. You can go on the daily as well. But the weekly did close above the wick. So technically speaking, it's slightly better than it closing below the wick, because then you have a confirmed lower low. Even though it did go to a lower low, it's just a slightly better weekly candle wick. And when I say higher time frame closures, I mean weeklies and dailies. Actually, Bitcoin on the daily is probably good enough. But we've actually managed to reclaim that wick, which is good, a good sign for the bulls, the boolars out there. On the other, you know, the caveat to that, guys, is that if we do come back down now and lose this area, we're going probably to, $100,000 is probably another buy, psychological 100K. Then we're likely going to go down to 93. And here we go, like this area here. You can see all these blue lines, guys. It's out my indicator, which I have created with my team. AI charting tools essentially plots all this on for you. So if you have a clean chart like this, you click one button, bada bing, bada boom. You've got all the levels you can see on my chart anyway. But I would say about 93, guys, between 93 and 94K. And then we're looking at 74 as the low level. Like if we lose 74 in a bear market, very likely. The 200 day is coming round. Let me whip up this chart quickly as well. So the 200-day is coming around, but we're not there yet. We have had multiple closures on a weekly basis below the 200-day, and we've continued up. And that's because the 200-day moving average is still aiming up. Okay, and by the way, guys, my setup is a little bit different right now. And the reason for that is because I've just moved into my new house, and I have a new office now. So it's going to be a slightly different setup for a bit. I haven't got my green screen, but I might just fuck off the green screen and just leave it like this. Probably good enough, isn't it? Like, you guys tell me in the comments, does it look better or worse than previously? But anyway, so the 200-day moving average is still going up on Bitcoin. If the 200-day moving average begins to start coming down and then we start seeing resistance on it, that's basically 50-50 is this. If you're below the 200-day moving average, that's not a good sign for the bulls. If it's also aiming down, that's another thing which is not very good for the bulls. And I would say 50% is on if you're below it or not, and 50% is what direction it's aiming. But right now we only have one of those two things, so it's 50% bad for boolars if you're thinking we're going to go into a bear market. I actually don't think the bear market's coming, guys. I still don't think that. We're still above that prior wick. We haven't had any big node of red volume. I've said this a million times. Every single prior cycle, we've at least had a peak or a crescendo moment of very extreme high sell pressure on higher time frames for volume. We haven't even really had like massive volume in general in this market, you know, as a complete whole, you know, this whole cycle. We haven't really got to these high levels of volume. So it would be interesting. It would be, I would say, unexpected if we went into a bear market right now. I'm talking the long-term systemic bear market, something like this. We might have a cyclical bear then into another one, but I would say something like this for a longer period of time, I actually would say it's less likely. For Bitcoin right now, that can change, obviously, with other markets, which we're going to look at. And I do think SPX, I don't think it happens this year, but I think 26 and 27, this is when we're going to get a big recession in the stock market, not an economy recession, a recession in the stock market. It could be as severe as the dot-com or the Great Recession. COVID would probably not be as severe as that because that was kind of a black swan moment event. But I would say that it's quite likely, guys. Let me go back to that in a second about the stock market. But I'm saying with Bitcoin, short term, there's a trade right now, actually very close to a buy trade. If we do lose this whole area of consolidation and the wick, guys, we're going 100K, 93, 74. They're all buy trades, bounce buy trades. And then you have to wait for posture. Posture is extremely important. It's a little bit nuanced, but posture is essentially how does the market get to the price that you're looking at? So, for instance, $100,000 would be here. That would be another buy trade. 93 is in the middle, and then 74. But if we went, say, all the way to 74 in one go, and then we came back up to 96 or 90, between 93 and 94, 95K, you know, that would be an SR flip. So then if you go straight through it, then back up to it, that's actually then a short. Okay, so SR trading, guys, you know this on Z channel for, I've been talking about this for I literally don't know. I'm not even going to say, it's just a long time. But I don't think the bear market's in, guys. And this is kind of a little bit, let's go to some of the macro indicators we have as well. Let me quickly whip up there. Gold's still at 28 trill. Apple's cruising at the 4 trill. Nvidia's just on an absolute blast off shit. Biggest company in the world now in terms of market capitalization, which is crazy to think that Microsoft has been, yeah, it's just a crazy valuation. And I think they just did a fucking great pivot into AI in terms of the way that they are running and producing the compute for AI systems. Going from fucking making graphics cards in your computers, which essentially run your games, to flipping into the AI space like that. That was a fucking golden move. Hat off to whatever. What was his name again, Pete? Do you remember?
Jason Huang.
Oh, you fucking legend. Huang! Bitcoin's
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, right. You're doing fake news. Fucking hell. Mate, honestly, I'm actually taking my news from you, and I never like fucking double check what you say. Whatever you tell me from news.
Jensen Huang.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But
the Huang stuff.
The Huang Nation. So 2 trillion for Bitcoin, which is still an ample. An ample is a good word, actually. I think ample asset class. It's not massive yet, but it's ample. It's in the middle. And I would say we are probably likely in the long term, guys, going to cruise up towards that 28. But I would say also the CBBI, this would be a complete anomaly if it was a top for this bull market, guys. You know, the CBBI, if we did top now and went into a systemic long-term bear market, this would be this indicator from the last 3, and you could call this a cyclical bear trend within a bull market. So every single cycle we've had above 98 on the CBBI. If we didn't get it this time round, That would if we didn't get it, guys, an above 98 read on the CBBI, we went into a bear market. What it would do is it would solidify in my mind that yes, the nature and the environment and the participants who trade Bitcoin is drastically changing. And I've already said this many times. I do think Bitcoin's going to change the way it trades, the way it moves, the price cycles, the 4-year cycle is going to go away. We're likely going to have a complete break of that whole system. And then also, guys, that's why I'm going to take away my trading bot. My Hodl bot, which I use on an hourly time frame, I will change it to a higher time frame. But I think it's getting closer. If it's this cycle, fine. It might be the next, but I don't think we've got like 5 cycles left. I think it's between either this one or the next cycle. The next environment is going to be very, very different. And you're going to see a different type of trader, a different type of institutional grade investor. There was a good comment actually last week where someone was like, Bitcoin's lost its true vision because now it's owned by institutions. In terms of what's happening, institutions are hodling Bitcoin more and more and more. You can get it in my Discord group. So if you go to Discord and you click on this one, I actually didn't manage to get it up very quickly last time. It's because it's in my portal. Get this right. So if you go to traders groups, if you have a subscription, and then you click on Bitcoin, it will load up from the bot, and you can basically see exactly how many Bitcoin are owned by institutions. And that would be, like I always say, it's 5 things. It's public companies, private companies, investment funds, countries, and I think there's one other one in there. I think they put DeFi in there, but I don't like to have it in there. But 3.7 million Bitcoin is now held by institutions, or let's just say the hardest diamond hands you can have, because it's very unlikely they're going to sell it on spot markets or even derivative markets. So that's going to go up. And if that goes up, that's going to change how the price of Bitcoin moves. And we're likely going to end up in a situation where Bitcoin trades very similar to gold and even probably tracks the same types of price movements of gold. And we know that at the moment, gold is coming up to an area of resistance, which I've been speaking about for many months. But gold's likely going to take probably a year to actually begin to move down. And this is purchasing power of gold. This is not the price, but if this is going down, the price is definitely falling. So I'm just telling you, it's going to take a while for gold to fall in price. Actually, technically speaking, the purchasing power could be, the price could be falling, the purchasing power not, depending on the amount of circulating supply and on M2 money supply. But I'm just saying, in the short term, very likely, if this begins to fall, the price will be falling as well, and the price of gold is absolutely going parabolic. So it wouldn't surprise me to see gold go into a bear market soon, but it will take a year, quite likely, for it to confirm that it's going to start a bear market, which gives Bitcoin a lot of time. If Bitcoin's going to start to trade like gold more readily, you're going to see a year of trying to top for gold. Bitcoin, literally, like a year in Bitcoin is 5 years in traditional. So like anything can happen. It could go to fucking $1 million in that time. So yeah, let's jump back to Bitcoin for one last little recap on it, because I know you guys love Zed Bitcoin. I just don't think we're not in a bear market by my objective parameters, which is, are you above the 200-day moving average? We are below it right now, but it's still aiming up. Is the volume, do we have a big red node and is it decreasing? No. And also, guys, systemic structure. So in terms of systemics, we're above 74. We're actually above every single prior low. So we're above 74, which is like, let's say, macro. The last couple swings ago, we're above it, and the wick. So we haven't really we're above everything. So like the first shot across the bow would be a big break to 93, a rally back up to 100, resistance down to 74. And then we could say, okay, where are we then going to result? We might get one more push up, and then actually it could end up in a bear market. Like, that would be me. And then if the 200 days coming down like that, we're seeing it as a resistance, then I could say, yeah, we're going into a bear market. But CBBI is not on track with that. The CBBI is not pointing in that direction. Gold hasn't topped yet, still in a raging bull market. Even SPX, the market likes a trend quite similarly to other markets, and SPX isn't ended its bull market. It could happen, but what you're waiting for gold, like we've said, with the SPX, with the traditional American stock market, is really what you want to wait for is something like this, but you want to wait for a big break, wipes out a whole lot of structure, and then you just wait for the retest and short that. But it doesn't look like the SPX is going into a bear market right now, even though, guys, I want to mention that I do think SPX is going to go into a bear market within the next 2 years. And if you really think about it, guys, Bitcoin, I don't think's topped. I think we do continue up. That can change in the next coming months. If we go below the 200-day, the 200-day moves down, the systemic structure breaks, and also volume begins to taper off. That could change. But if you think about it, gold's going to take a year to top, very likely. The SPX, I think, is going to have its top within the next 2. So actually, it could happen at 1st of January. I believe it's in 26 or 27. So within the next 2 years, SPX could top. That could correlate with Bitcoin quite readily, actually. If we get gold coming into its bear market, SPX as well, and then Bitcoin will follow. And I do think there just will be a movement into things like cash again. I actually think the US fiat currencies will be used as a way for people to sell. Well, they'll sell their stocks, their shares, their Bitcoin, their gold. They'll sell it into US dollars, if not other fiat currencies, because we do know that the purchasing power. Let's just say this. Gold's relative purchasing power is very high in comparison to history. 2011 purchasing power is very high. So you don't get a lot of gold right now with US dollars. But also we're seeing that in the stock market. So I do think that, yeah, I think in the next couple of years, where's my little mouse curve? What's going on here, Legends? I've changed something here. Let me just make it go back to my little brush. So... yeah, I'll talk about this now. I did a tweet about it, Legends, going into detail about what I think. And this got quite a lot of views, actually. I think people are all kind of thinking about this. They're thinking about the stock market at the moment because it is going parabolic. AI is pretty crazy. NVIDIA's gone mad. Like, a lot of stocks and shares have gone crazy. And the FANG stocks are essentially the ones bringing up the US stock market. But, you know, the media, if this happens on Trump's watch, and I don't know how long Trump's got left. Has he got 3 years left or has he got 2 years left? Pete, you'd know this.
I think he's still got 3 years left now.
Yeah, I think he's only been in for a year, isn't he? So he's got 3 years left. So
he might run again.
Yeah, because he's allowed to, isn't he? Because he broke his last term. So I don't think you're allowed to have Are you allowed to have? How many consecutive turns are you allowed?
No, I don't think he's actually allowed to run again. But
I think. But the thing is, I think it's because Biden won last time. It broke the. You know, it's not continuous. So maybe let's ask ChatGPT. Can Trump run again as president after this? Let's see what it says. We'll come back to that in a second. But anyway, so what I think this the top of the bull market for the stock market. Let's quickly see what it said. Yes, Donald Trump can run again as president of the United States. So interesting.
People in the chat saying he can't. 2 terms in total, can't run again.
Why is ChatGPT saying 100% yes?
I trust the guys in the chat more than ChatGPT.
The U.S. Constitution on presidential terms. More than twice. Okay, so it says yes. Can Trump run again for president? Then it says no person shall be elected in office. We'll have to read this.
I think it's a 2-term limit. Just it don't matter if there's a break or whatever.
Interesting.
Well, Trump can go again, but it would have to be his daughter or something. Someone with a Trump name. Baron Trump. Baron's going to run. It'll be JD Vance next, I reckon.
Okay, so yeah, it's not... The question I asked is not good because it's not counting the term he's already in. So yeah, he's not allowed to. Well, but okay, so basically, let's think of it this way. Okay, if he could win again, which he can't, this will it would definitely happen. I would say the top of the stock market would happen with Trump. The thing is with this, there will be a top quite likely in the next 2 years, I think, and it will probably be under or it'll be during Trump's presidency, and they'll try and call it in the mainstream media because we know how corrupt it is. They'll try and blame it on Trump, like the Trump bubble. He was inflating this. He was lying about prices of that. It was all bravado and it was all fascism and all this crap. They'll blast it and they'll say it's Trump's problem. They'll say it was because of Trump, but it's actually not a Trump bubble. What we're seeing right now, it's actually more to do with AI and it's to do with people trying to escape other forms of fiat currencies and going into the stock market and using the stock market as a form of store of value, because actually gold's quite difficult to buy in a lot of cases and Bitcoin is very new. So there are other forms of store of value that are better, like gold and Bitcoin, but people are using the stock market in the same way. They're trying to hedge against inflation with the stock market, and you see that with reports and data analysts come out and financial analysts come out and say we're buying the stock market to beat inflation as well, even though that's kind of retarded. You should be buying stocks that you think can grow and benefit the world. But it's an AI bubble. All we know is is that this is likely going to happen in the next 2 years. I do think we're going to get something like this, and we're going to get some sort of top over the next 2 years. If we don't get it, and we go into even more of a bubble than the dot-com bubble, you have to remember, guys, that the state of value, the actual value of the stock market right now is the same as the dot-com bubble. And we all know that that was a massive bubble, and things were overpriced and overvalued during that period because companies weren't... let's call it internet companies, weren't actually doing anything at that point, but they were being valued like by astronomical numbers because people were looking into the future and they were trying to make the bets on what happens in the future. We know that that bubble burst. It's very similar to when we had like a lot of blockchain projects in the ICO craze went crazy. And it's like, well, most of these ICOs don't even have a product yet. They're just a white paper. And then we all realized, well, we didn't realize, we knew it was a big bubble, but like, markets like to get the animal instincts take over and people get excited. And when people buy, other people buy because they see it going up. So then you get into this big cycle. We know boom and bust cycles. But all I'm saying is that right now, we're at the euphoria levels of the dot-com bubble. And it's very unlikely, guys, that that's going to continue. Because the stock market right now is not representing just the base of the companies getting better. You're seeing what's happening. The price is rising because people are just getting into the stock market to hedge against other things. And it is a bubble. Right now, the AI revolution and everyone jumping into the fucking stock market to get out of fiat, it is a bubble. And I'm just saying that it's quite likely, guys, that we're going to have a bear market at some point. And .com was a very severe bear market. The Great Recession, when you put it into this perspective, it makes you realize how much people lost in the Great Recession. Because it came from a valuation at half .com and then went lower than the fucking low of the... It's crazy. Like, people don't look at the price chart and understand this. They think that, you know, the .com bubble was just as bad as the Great Recession. They think like, you know, oh yeah, they're the same. Because let me show you the chart. Because they actually look... Fucking hell, you got to scroll a bit on this time frame, don't you, boys? I'm on the daily as well. Where are we? Oh, here we go. I just went straight past it. So you have .com bubble here, the big burst of the .com bubble. Then you have this rally, and then you have the Great Recession. The thing is, it kind of looks like on this chart that the Great Recession was just as bad as the .com bubble. But that's not the case. The Great Recession was far worse and far more severe in terms of... Well, I'm trying to find my chart. Where is it? There we go. Oh, no. Here we go. The Great Recession was far worse in terms of actually the amount of value people lost, and the recovery was shit. So you lost if you went through both of them, you know, you got fucked up. That was a bad period of time for just genuinely the value of the stock market fell. But a lot of people on paper would have said, "Oh, the Great Recession is just as bad as the .com bubble," and maybe there's an argument where people say the .com bubble was worse because it came from a higher value and fell further. I'm just saying that if you had have hodled all the way through and not sold any of your stocks and shares, by the end of the Great Recession, you were significantly poorer than if by the end of the .com bubble. Like, literally significantly poorer. You could have traded or changed those stocks into far less currency in that economy, in this case, US dollars. So the Great Recession, in my opinion, was a much worse recession. And also, like, the bounce back after .com was just shit. It was all just based on the premise of printing new currency to inflate prices. And you can see it perfectly because guess what? The value went up this far, but the prices went back to the same levels. So this was all a lie, really a lie. It was a fake rally. It was a fake propped up gay rally from boomers, essentially. It was that generation. It was a boomers rally where it was just printing currency, forcing it. And then actually they really took it to the next level here and they printed to oblivion. It was just, I wouldn't blame it on boomers. I would just say that in that specific period of time, the only thing that people could have done was just print more currency and inflate the money supply through Keynesian economics, which makes you feel better. It's almost like kind of like having a fucking drink the next day when you've got a hangover. Like, yes, it makes you feel better for a bit, but then you just have a worse hangover later. So it really is that analogy. But I would say, like, yeah, anyway, we're going on a bit of a tangent here with the Great Recession. It's happened. It was just a bad fucking moment. And also, we kind of broke the financial system in the West during this period with fractional reserve and then all the new printed currency. But now, took us a long time, But we got back to Great Recession levels during COVID. We got wrecked back there. But look at this. So we're at the fucking euphoria of the dot-com bubble right now, and I think we are going to get a top in the next 2 years. And it's going to be on Trump's watch, and they're going to blame it on Trump, even though it's nothing to do with Trump. Actually, Trump really can't take credit for the stock market even today. He can't take credit. He can't be like, oh, he comes out and he says it, though. He'll say it because it's Trump, isn't he? He'll be like, yeah, look at the stock market. It's just made an all-time high. He can't take ownership, and he can't take credit for that. Because the stock market was rallying during Biden's term as well. And also he had a massive blip at the beginning of his term, and then it went up again. This is completely out of the control of governments. If he turned around tomorrow, if he turned around tomorrow and made it 100% corporation tax, that would have an effect. But most of this is actually due to the fact that there are certain companies that are outperforming other companies, and there's a big AI race happening. Whether he has a say in that as well, he does. The president does have a say in the AI race. But I would say that only 10% is in relation to what the government's doing, and most of it's actually open market dynamics, as well as people running away from fiat currency, and as well as companies just generally getting better through AI. But anyway, yeah, I think the top's going to happen in the next 2 years, guys. You heard it here fucking first. No one's looking at inflation-adjusted charts. They're all looking at the stock market thinking, oh my God, yeah, it's just going up. We're just going to continue up forever. But all of this rally, you can see it. It really is funny, though, isn't it? Everyone's like, oh my God, look at the stock market, Pete. Like, for any normal eye, you've got... It's crazy to think that of the stock market was exactly the same value as here. Like, it is actually kind of mental to look at it and think, we went all this way up, but the value is only the same as what it was fucking...
Some comments here as well. I feel AI is nearly done with its major gains. Quantum's going to be next, and videos will be included with that.
Yeah, Quantum is a very... I think I'm like cautiously excited about Quantum. Obviously, the problem is about quantum computers, it will break like all types of cryptography. It'll likely break like a whole load of different systems, whether it's like universal government systems or even just like fucking traffic light system. It's all going to get blasted, but I think what will likely happen is, you know, we have essentially at the moment encryption technologies that you can be defended against certain other compute systems. Whether we can actually build a system that is quantum resistant, it's another story. All I know is that the Bitcoin blockchain is very safe because the Bitcoin blockchain has an algorithm stated as SHA-256, which is a protocol that means you have to expend electricity to create blocks. So that is kind of a bottleneck for quantum because you still need to expend electricity. There's a factor there. You need to use electricity to create the blocks, which kind of is a hard-defined rule, which a quantum computer can't just create the energy of a fucking hydroelectric dam. It might be able to do other things, for instance, like break the elliptic curve cryptography we have, and even BS1 addresses and all the SegWit addresses and the Taproot addresses, they'll all get broken. But I think what will happen is we'll likely migrate all of our crypto and Bitcoin to quantum-resistant systems. But the problem is quantum might happen in 4 years, so we've got to build that system. So it's a little bit quick. We'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a minute. Make sure the camera's working correctly. Hopefully everything looks good. But yeah, no, okay, so that's kind of that out of the way, legends. I do think the top for the stock market is coming, and I think will result in quite a significant drawdown in the value. Technically speaking, the value can fall and the price not fall, by the way, because we could start printing so much currency that the price could continue to rally, but the value could actually fall. But that would be in a situation, for instance, like Venezuela, when you see the price of the stock market going like that, but the value of everything going down. And you're like, what the fuck? If you look at a Venezuelan stock market chart, you would think inherently, well, the stock market's doing really well, isn't it? Because it was like that. It went to the moon. But actually, it was a complete collapse of not just the society, but all the companies couldn't even do... They actually fell in value because they didn't even have a fucking standard currency within the country to use, which affects business internationally and domestically, obviously. So, like, I don't know. It's going to be crazy. We'll see what happens. I think the stock market crashes in 2 years. In the next 2 years, sorry. Not in 2 years. Within now till end of 27. And I think Bitcoin is continuing its bull market, guys. I don't think we're going to end it here. The caveat to that is this wick, losing it again, 93. And if we lose... If the the 200-day moving average is going down, we're seeing resistance, and we're above 74, then yeah, we're in a bear market and we'll likely go down for 2 years. So that's going to get pretty nuts. Some good stocks, though. I'm going to load up on some more Nike, guys. I am not going to buy Nvidia at this point. You know, if you, like I said, like, fucking hell, guys. It's at $4.7 trillion market cap, which is absolutely phenomenal. Having said that, it could go higher because of the AI revolution. But Tesla, you know, which is right on the button with all this stuff, is only 1.4. Like, is Nvidia like nearly 3 times more valuable than Tesla? I suppose it is just a car branch of his business, but it's pretty epic, to be honest. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for the roundup of markets. Anything else we want to go through? Gold's obviously doing its thing. Ethereum, we won't go into alts right now. Boring. Let's go to some news stuff, brother. Let's bring it on. What have you got for me, man? Let's go. I'm game.
Bring up. We did have this though that was quite strange. They're trying to do a cap on the stablecoin holdings.
All right, legends. Okay, I don't know the full context of this, but another thing that Keir Starmer, I don't know what it is, but like it's like everything he does is trying to make his case for continuing to be the prime minister worse and worse and worse. Like, okay, firstly, just unveil that £20,000 cap on stablecoin holdings proposes. Okay, so it's a proposed rule. Do we actually know how that even works, though? So are they saying that?
Yeah, here you go. This guy's got a good little summary of it as well.
This only applies to Great British Pound stables. So you could have USDT, you could have USDC, you could have anything. Because what essentially what that's if he's saying that's on all stablecoins, essentially what he's trying to say is that you can only have £20,000 in crypto. That's basically what you're saying, but no. We got here. Okay. The UK is a totalitarian state that is crushing all innovation and productivity. It's not actually totalitarian. That's too far. That's like the most extreme left you can go. Totalitarianism is essentially complete control over every single aspect of the economy by the government. That's not where we're at. We're probably at the middle ground between 30% communist with maybe a little bit of dictatorship in the middle. But we're not at totalitarianism. But anyway, more taxes, more... Yeah, it is crazy. We're going that way. But anyway, the whole thing about regulating... This is... Okay, even Great British Pound stablecoins, how can you say that? Like, why can't you have more than 20,000... You can have more than £20,000 in your bank. So why the fuck can't you have more than £20,000 in stablecoins? It's a stupid law which can't be enforced, which is the planned economy system. It's a communist load of bollocks. And I don't even know why it even benefits the government. Like, why would that even benefit the government in any way? It's just stupid, man. Is there any more context to it? Any more stories about it? Or is that all we've got?
No, that's basically it. But I think it's just a start with more to come, isn't it? Some more rules around it. And
it's just fucked up, bro. I think this debate's been going on for ages with, like, you know, Starmer and how, like, fucking crazy he is in terms of we call him Keir Starling. The problem is about the Labour government. They are going down the road of like implementing so many rules and regulations that they can't even control them, you know, themselves. If you have 1 million regulations, how can you enforce all of them? Also, you're just going to create more complex ability to get into business in England.
Well, it's hard enough for people who want to trade, isn't it? Who are in the UK?
Oh, bro, you can't even get an exchange right now. Like, I obviously promote, you know, exchange. Bybit's coming back to England actually at some point, but I got links in the description to exchanges you can use in England, but it's not a fucking lot of them. It's a very small amount. I actually forgot to mention something, Legends. There is a link in the description to the waitlist. We are doing a waitlist for Black Friday, and Botmaster is our brand new product, which we are releasing. And quick little bit of context, but we'll go into the news more, but quick little bit of context. You're going to have a personal specialist, 2 personal specialists that go through our bots, find all the best settings, and then you have a whole entire dashboard that shows you all the best settings to put into your bot to then connect to Wonder Trading and our third-party providers. So essentially, Botmaster is a tailored solution for you to get 2 specialists every day, finding the best settings for you in the indicators to then use to make bots. You can even trade them manually if you want. But you have a screener and you have a table in it, and we have a team of people finding the best settings within Botmaster. this new thing. So go to the description, guys. Get on the wait list. We'll explain it in an email. It'll be easier than me talking about it now. But we have a new product called Botmaster, and the whole product is going to be available for Black Friday, obviously. And then we have the long to short ratios, which I haven't really mentioned, but I think we are falling. So look, right now we're falling long to shorts. Literally, when longs begin to fall, the price usually goes up. I would say, guys, if we do see this cross, that's going to be your signal to say, here we literally go. So when we get a cross on the long to short ratio, guys, that will be the signal to say, let's moonship. So let's go back to these absolute cretins. It's a little bit too...
Someone dropped a like a Rooney in the chat.
I like a Rooney Ente. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna turn the aircon on in a minute. We're gonna get into the fucking the sweaty stuff now. Like, we're really I'm gonna have a vape. But mate, let me say one thing. Actually, I just want to make this point. The problem is I see on the internet is that people throw out these terms like fascism, totalitarianism, anarchy, and all these things, but no one actually like knows where any of them lie in a spectrum between what's actually left and what's actually right. Like, all you gotta do, guys, is go on ChatGPT or Google and try and get an unbiased perspective of actually what it looks like. And guys, just to be completely fucking clear here, totalitarianism is literally the most left you can get. It is complete control of the economy. That's not what the UK is. Also, like, people say, oh, Trump's a fascist. Fascism isn't anything to do with right-wing politics. Fascism is not right in any way. Fascism needs a big government to silence and enforce control to stop competitors. You have to have a big government for that. So if you have a big government, which is a centralized control network, which is forcing or stopping other people to have a say or silencing other political parties, that can't be right-wing, because that right-wing politics is about smaller government with more freedom and less control. That can have its problems. Right can have its problems, and left can have its problems. But fascism you can't call right-wing politicians fascists, because that doesn't make sense. What's that, brother?
When we were in the pub playing cards with some people, and then we just started chatting about Trump or something, and then 5 minutes later, fast forward, and the guy was calling you a fascist, and then the card game got abandoned.
I remember it. It was a young 21. This is an issue as well with younger generations, because I do believe that the issue is, like, when you're younger, you're just a little bit more naive. We've all been there, so you
can't have like an open conversation.
You can't have an open conversation with people because they just call you these weird bracket terms. I even saw a guy who was arguing against I think it was it wasn't Nigel Farage, it was his other guy. I can't remember his name. It's a difficult argument. I think it's Rand Stan or some shit. And he was like, yeah, you're a right-wing fascist dictatorship party. It's like, when you actually look at the policies, like, they are trying to reduce the size of regulation, reduce the size of government. Anyway, my point is this, and I'll do a whole thing about this later, but it's totalitarianism is the furthest left you can go. Then you have communism. Then you have things like fascism and elitism and control networks. So the very furthest left is totalitarianism. Then the second furthest left is communism. And then you go into the woods of fascism. Dictatorship, guys, is actually in the middle, because dictatorships are plug-and-play systems. You can have a dictatorship that has massive freedoms on some things and then complete control over others. So dictatorships have to be in the middle. You can't say a dictatorship is right or left, because some things are right and some things are left depending on the individual. It's a plug-and-play system. Look at North Korea, look at Dubai. It's very, very, like, there's no synergy between any dictatorship. Also, it's the whim of one decision, so it can change. If you go right, then you're anarchy. That's the furthest right you can go. No government. No one believes that's a good thing. We believe in government in some level. Anarchy is complete far right, going to the next level of far right. Then you've got things like libertarianism, free market capitalism, maybe even systems that are built on the open freedom of resources, that kind of stuff. That's going a little bit not to anarchism, but I would say libertarianism and, let's say, free market premised societies. I don't even say capitalism anymore. Like, if you're actually trying to help someone in a conversation, I don't say free market capitalism because it has all this dirty stigma around it. I just say free market principled societies, which inherently is, because obviously money is a factor within an economy, which is a public resource. if it was gold or it was silver or it was Bitcoin, it's a public entity. It's a commodity. So technically speaking, if you have a free market principled society, money is in that equation, which is capital, which is capitalism. So anyway, long story short, I would say that England is probably in the bracket of between maybe 30 to 40% communist with Labour. Like there's a very, very big streak of communism in the UK right now. But then there's actually a little bit of the middle, which I would say a little bit of dictatorship going on. But then you have definitely got some free things. Like you do have free enterprise, free companies, free market principles in a lot of regards. Like you're allowed to do certain things socially, you're allowed to walk up, you're allowed to start a business. Yes, those businesses are controlled a lot, but I'm saying there is an element of freedom in the United Kingdom. We can't go down to totalitarianism. That's just too far. Anyway, that's my point. We're not there yet. We're kind of probably actually a little bit center to the left, but more communist. And then you would say America right now is probably gone down the road of the problem is that if a society has a Federal Reserve or a central bank, you have to de facto put it into a little bit of communism, because that is communal ownership of money. So if you're living on a fiat standard base, if you have a central bank, that is literally communist, because it's communal. It's the ownership of money by the state. Or let's say they always try and disintermediate it and say it's not the state, but it fucking is basically. So I'd say that America is like a libertarian, free market principled communism area. Like it's in the middle. So it's difficult to know exactly. But all I'm saying is get an actual spectrum out and draw it on a piece of paper, because otherwise you get kids you get a kid in a pub calling you a fascist for wanting free market capitalism. Like, what are we even talking about here? That's not even possible. Anyway, what we got here? Bexy. Oh God, what have they done now?
Yeah, I was going to say, before we get into that, what do you think about what's going to happen with New York? And actually, we've also got a few people asking to look at different altcoins in the chat.
We'll do some alts at the end. I will do altcoins, but I'll do them at the end. But I'm saying the fucking New York thing, and I'm not gonna like
Darny, the Zohan.
The problem is I'm not an expert on it. All I know is because I get a lot of like right wing media. I try my best to be objective.
He wants to do rent control, so that's one of the things. He wants to give free transport, just loads of nice nice stuff, you know.
Those are nice sounding stuff. Yeah, no, rent controls. Pete, remember we were in Germany? We went to Berlin together, and there was a girl that we met, and she was like really pro rent controls. Do you remember that? It was years ago. You probably don't remember.
I don't remember.
We sat in a restaurant, and then this chick came in who you knew or something. It was like this fat chick, and she had like blue hair. It was like the most fucking left-wing fucking person. She sat down, and she was like,
"Oh, that's my mate. That's my mate."
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, like regardless of being rude, I'm just gonna say the objective facts. Yeah, she was overweight and she did have blue hair. I'm not saying she can be fat and have blue hair. That's actually objectively doesn't matter.
Let's get on to what she was saying.
She was fat with blue hair. That's what I wanted to say. No, I'm joking. She basically was saying that she is pro rent controls. And I remember saying to her, and this is before I even had a real stance on this. I said, is there any negatives to that? And she was like, no, of course there's no negatives to that. Like there's no negatives. Like it's only good. And like that kind of was like in my head. I was like, well, there's obviously going to be a pull and a push here. Like there's going to be a pull and a push. Like there's going to have to be some issue with that, because what happens if the landlord has lots of bills or something, or there's a huge rate increase, or let's just say gas bills go up, but then they can't increase the rent, and then they get to a point where the home that they're actually offering you at rent, they're giving you at this price, but they simply can't afford to continue doing it because, say, gas bills go up, and then they start losing money, and if they start losing money, then they have to essentially sell it, and then you lose your house anyway. So like the problem is about rent controls is that, look, in real times of need, for like maybe 3 months during a war or something, potentially you could do it, but long term it's impossible to keep that running, because the market itself, a free market of prices, are what dictate what you can either produce a product for or sell a product for. And we know that anyone in business, or if you're a landlord, it's a business. You can't make a loss for years. You can make a loss for a few months, maybe, but You can't make a loss for years and years and years and years, because then the business itself crumbles, and then landlords lose their homes or sell them, and then the person doesn't have a home anyway. So the problem is about rent controls, it's not sustainable. It's the planned economy. It's a communist way of looking at it, because you need to allow the market to be able to breathe either way. Maybe prices go down, then rents can go down. Maybe prices go up, then rents go up. But you have to understand that having a rent-controlled system, it's not going to work long-term. You're only going to create more poverty, because then you're going to put people out of business who are landlords, and then the people who have the home don't have the home, because they might have to sell it to a big corporation and then build on it. I don't know any scenario. So rent controls is fuck. If he's going to do that, it's going to end in tears. You're gonna. It can't work long-term. I've seen some scenarios in specific individual scenarios where, like, there are actually use cases for that, where you can freeze prices or freeze things in an economy for a short period of time, because maybe there's something like COVID. Like, maybe something happens which is out of the control of the society itself. Maybe there's a war, maybe you get invaded, maybe there's a COVID, maybe there's a pandemic, whatever it is. Then there is you go, oh shit, guys, we need to try and do something here to protect the people. But the thing is, it has to be a short period of time. And then you have to essentially come together as a society and fight through that thing, and then go back to normal. But I don't know. This guy's very, very left. I can see it. The problem is about New York. The funny thing is New York is like the cornerstone of liberty and freedom, you know? Sorry, I got my fucking... I need to turn this up. It's gone all weird. I've got this thing on my screen which has got me... Yeah, there we go. Now you can see me again, legends. It went a bit blue there. So basically, New York is built on the premise of liberty. The Statue of Liberty is in New York. It's like, that's what it is all about. It's about very low regulation, lots of open, free... and democracy comes into it, like free, democratic, open law. And it's like, that's all going to go away as soon as you start forcing landlords. Like, imagine this in terms of like, imagine just like you buy a house and then you're not allowed to rent it for what you want. Like, it goes against the premise of liberty itself, freedom, to be able to detect, well, no, it's my house. Like, if you want to live in a society where we have a freehold property that is owned by you and not owned by the state, why should the state tell you what you can rent it for? Maybe in times of war, yes, when we have to collectively get through something, but not in general, not in business as usual. It goes against the premise of everything. It makes you scared to want to go to New York, because you're like, well, I don't have control over my own assets, and we all know that as soon as government agencies and other individuals in societies want to take ownership of your private property without your consent, which is that's a forced intervention into your life, we know that human beings always seek freedom and don't seek control over long periods of time. There's literally thousands and thousands of examples of human beings fighting for their freedom. And there's not many examples. When the Berlin Wall fell, legends, they didn't all go back to fucking the Soviet Union, did they? They went for freedom. Like, human beings fight for freedom. It's almost built into us at an instinctual level. So I don't know, the rent control thing with this guy, that specific point. I don't. What else is he doing?
So that point really got under your skin, though, didn't it? The whole rent.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I've just turned into a landlord myself. And I'm like in Dubai, and it's like, well, why couldn't I rent this for what I want? Like, it's another whole. To be honest, being a landlord.
Yeah, I don't think Dubai is going to be doing rent control anytime soon.
No. Well, the thing is, I didn't learn this lesson from owning a home. I learned this lesson from trying to own my own money. That's why I bought Bitcoin, and that's why if you buy Bitcoin, you are a free. If you believe in Bitcoin and you buy Bitcoin, you have to put yourself on the right spectrum, because you believe in freedom of your own assets. You believe in free market principle societies because you're doing it yourself. It's like... Anyway, yeah, carry on.
Talking about freedom, this whole MEXC situation. So it kind of kicked off where, I don't know how much you know about this, but this guy, the White Whale, is quite big on crypto Twitter. And he just had like about 3 million or something that was frozen on the exchange. And they kind of listed like bogus reasons. And it went back and forth for a while, and he was giving them chances before he went kind of public and shared all of his correspondence with them and what they've said back to him. And then this has snowballed like into where they backtracked and they've kind of released funds to him. And there's loads more people that are coming out of the woodwork saying they've had funds stolen and frozen.
Dude, just a one thing. I warned people about MEXC 3 years ago. I did a tweet about it. It got 500,000 views. And I had insider information about what they were doing. And they're acting as a brokerage house, not an exchange. So essentially, most of the time when you buy altcoins on MEXC, you're not trading peer-to-peer with another individual. You are buying those stocks from the exchange. They're market makers. That can work. And we know that happens in lots of exchanges. But the problem is that if you make money on an altcoin, you're trading against the market maker of the exchange. If you make money, they're losing money. So it's disincentivizing them to allow you to have your funds. Because a brokerage house is there to make money on the fees. But if you're trading against the house always fucking wins, guys. It's a fucking casino. Like, it's the same as a casino. The casino will stop you from getting your winnings. So like, and it's not because trading is just gambling or buying altcoins is just gambling. I'm just saying that if you play against an institution and they have the power to stop you from winning, they'll try and mitigate, or they'll try and go down that rabbit hole to stop you from winning. You sit in a big casino, you'll win big, they'll try and stop you from winning the money. Not because they're wrong or they're right. They're just trying to just extort out the situation we don't get paid. That's the same as MEXC. It's a fucking brokerage. It's not a fucking exchange. But crypto is very low regulation, so they can get away with being an exchange on some things and a brokerage house on others. And the problem is that if you go and win on a big altcoin win, the market makers are losing. And there's no liquidity anyway on these altcoins. Guys, go on my Twitter and scroll down and find it. It got 500,000 views. I was like a whistleblower on the whole thing. They even sent me death threats, Legends, on TG. Like, their team was sending me shit saying, if you fucking do this, we're gonna come get you. Like, I literally blew the roof off it. And like, this is not any shock to me. You're not allowed to win against MEXC. What's the next story, brother? Petey, I think we've lost him. We've lost our boy. Peter Dirtyworks. He's gone. Anyway, I know we were going to talk about... Are you there, Pete, bro? I think you've gone dead. Oh, shit, he's been quit. He'll come back into the chat in a minute. Anyway. Yeah, so guys, just MEXC, get out of there. I've frozen. Okay, let's do some altcoins then. In the chat, guys, blast your altcoins, and I'll do some altcoins and wait for Pete. Yeah, the fees are low. It's a scam exchange, guys. It's a complete scam. Anyway, total 2, this is the altcoin market as a whole. You do have some significant wicks here, and the 200-day moving average is still facing up. I do think, though, Bitcoin is going to have its next big run. I do think Bitcoin's going to continue up, actually, and break its all-time high. I've already spoken about that. But when Bitcoin tops, altcoins will have its moment. But we'll wait for Pete to come back in. We've got a lot of news stories to cover. Because in these videos, Legends, we don't just do the price charts anymore. We talk about what's going on in the money market media, I call it. Because you have, like, two different things, and this is what people get confused with. You have money market media, which is just sloshy, slishy, bullshitty stuff to try and create some sort of manipulation. And then you have like fundamental changes, like for instance, there is an actual change in something in the economy, which is it's being reported on. So there's two different ways of doing it, and you can very easily distinguish between the two. Like if you watch something like a CNBC, you're going to see the difference between money market media and then actually like objective based facts of what the earnings are, what's the company doing, who's joining the companies, that kind of stuff. But you can put in some altcoin chats. I'm here, Legends. Just give me some things to talk about on the altcoin space. UK stop leverage trading unless professional traders of a net worth of 1 million. Yeah, you know, to a degree, it's not like the end of the world, but I don't believe that institutions or at any level should be able to have a say on what you do with your own money. So I don't believe there should be regulations to stop you, an accredited investor. Like, well, the reason you become a good investor is by making mistakes. When you lose, you learn. And I do believe that if you go onto an exchange and lose all your money, that's a learning curve for you. Someone wants to look at Bonk. The Bonkaruniente. I haven't actually looked at Bonk in a while. It had that big wick down like the other altcoins did. Is this the Bonk chart? This is on Binance. I don't know if this is exactly right, but you're not looking at anything good in terms of structure here. Like, I would at least want it to break above a few wicks on the upside before I look for a buy. Let me give you an example. Right now on Bitcoin, I told my VIP group, like, let's not buy here, even though we think it's going to go up. Here is the place to buy when you come and retest it. And you can see in my chat group, is it? I said, look, wait for it to break, and then you buy the retest. And actually, that's pretty much what we're getting right now. We're getting the break, and then we're going to retest that level. So the buy is coming in now for Bitcoin here on a lower time frame. That's where you want to get your trade for potentially it moving up. Doesn't mean it has to move up. It just potentially might. It might go to here. Next buy trade. Okay, then you could even short here. Potentially could do that, but then you have the long open anyway. So essentially, you're playing chess against the market. Here's the level. If you then lose that and lose here, then we're going to go lower on Bitcoin. But bonk and all that shit, like, just wait for some sort of breakup, structure, higher high, higher low, and then buy the retests of the prior resistance. I think Pete's back in the building. Pete, dirty work. What happened to you, man?
Mate, that was a fucking joke.
I've said to you for a while, you need to get a new fucking laptop, bro.
I'm being plagued by issues with my phone, with my desktop, now with my laptop.
What's the next news story, brother?
Yeah, I left you out on the limb for a while there. Was you going into altcoins though? Because
nah,
we did have
let's do altcoins at the end, man.
we'll
do this. We'll do this right now.
What do you think about what did you think about this MEXC stuff? Because after this guy's managed to get his money back, they're just having like everyone piling on and trying to withdraw and stuff and come out.
Oh, yeah, it's a run.
I think it might have died down a little bit by now, but
I don't think it's a good exchange, man. I said it from the beginning. They're a broker. They're acting as a broker when they're saying they're a peer-to-peer exchange. They're doing much more brokerage shit. Their market makers are essentially all of the coins. You're not trading against other people. You're trading against them. I don't think you can go on my Twitter, guys. Scroll back on my Twitter. You'll find it. Like, there's a crazy tweet I did about the whole thing. Stimmy checks news. What else is in the news, brother? Let's get into another topic.
There's plenty of stuff. What about this one? We're getting some.
Oh yeah, play it. See if it works. The sound.
I'm not sure the audio is too good on this video. We're back to robot.
Bro, this is actually nuts, isn't it? What's he gonna do? Just jizz in his pants? All right, man, that's enough. Yeah, well, this is where we're going, man. This is where robots are going, and it's gonna get way more fucking in detail than this.
We had the uncanny valley thing where the robots are walking like humans now as well.
Yeah,
China demoed that.
I'd rather do that than have my money in MEXC, though. I'll give it that. Oh no, Pete, have you gone again? Oh mate. No, okay. I thought it got. Oh god, you'd gone dead again. Now let's get up some stuff about. You had some sick news stories, man. Let's talk about the BBC thing. That was crazy. Okay, we'll go here.
Yeah, we've got Trump trying to destroy our beloved British Broadcasting Corporation here in the UK.
Mate, you know what?
We love BBC.
Mate, over the years I have loved the BBC. Like, the BBC created Top Gear.
Like BBC?
Mate, I love a BBC. I know the name, but like, listen.
Everyone wants BBC at the minute.
Everyone wants BBC. Mate, BBC's sick as fuck for the last. It's been a great fucking the British broadcast. You know, it's been amazing. But like recently, this is really not good, and Trump is completely right to call this out. And it wasn't Trump that called it out; it went viral on social media. And then the problem is that if you're an independent publisher of news, you know, you can do whatever you want. You could be left, you could be right, you can make shit up, you can do what you want. You're a private enterprise, you're a private company. You can literally chat as much fake news as you want. But this is from a public-owned entity in the United Kingdom. So what, if you really think about it, the United Kingdom government force you to give them money, which is a TV tax. So you have a TV tax, TV license. You are forced to pay that, or you could even get a fine or go to jail for not doing it. And then you're forced to do it, so it's not out of your control. And then they go and manipulate what you're seeing. And I heard that the two things that they clipped together were 50 minutes apart. So from when he was saying, let's go down to Congress, and then him saying, let's fight, that was 50 minutes of difference in time. That's essentially just like lying. You're not non-biased. You're a biased media outlet who is publicly owned by the British people. That honestly, that could be the end of the BBC. Like, that's really fucking bad. Is the sound on this?
Yeah, this is the actual clip.
Capital.
Yeah, let's watch it.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. Oh. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. We're going to walk down
honestly, they got
to the Capitol.
Yeah, we've seen it.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah, go on.
It's just the editors. It's the guy in the cutting room doing like the best kind of influence. But I think that actual documentary was a bit more balanced when you look at it on the whole. But yeah, this specific clip is so bad when you realise what they've done with that. And he's asking, he's saying, there's a whole bunch of terms and agreements that he sent to the BBC from his lawyers. And he says if they don't do it, he was basically going for $1 billion.
Mate, I genuinely believe that that's what the BBC need. They've got $1 billion anyway. Like, they used to spend that on the Top Gear show. I can't remember the numbers on Top Gear, but it was unbelievable. It was billions of dollars they spent on that show. So like, it's not like that.
What they spent billions on Top Gear show?
Yeah. On the if you like, I think I genuinely let's chat GBT this. How much money was spent to produce, and it's difficult, it says each year, produce Top Gear by the BBC. Let's just see what it says. It'll probably give us more analysis, but each year, it's going to be probably like hundreds of millions. But I think overall it was literally billions and billions of dollars. 770,000, what? $1 million per, no, it can't be. Wait,
there's a good point here from Sunshine Girl as well. There's been climate story, feminism story, diversity story, all woke stuff every day. It's followed that scheduling pattern for years.
One source says that they spent around $500,000 per episode. It's just mental money. It's just mental money.
On toppers. Yeah.
And then all the other stuff. And then you got to remember, this went on for 20 years. So I don't know if you're going to calculate what it costs. Like, it's literally, 500 weeks. I don't know. Maybe it's up to $1 billion. I don't know exactly, but it's still, they spent a lot of they probably spent $1 billion on Top Gear. So $1 billion flowing out from Trump, they can afford it. They take the money from the taxpayer of the United Kingdom. I think they need this, man. The BBC,
that whole model's dying. No, people are going to stop paying like their license fee over time. And
well, yeah. Why should you fucking pay your license fee if you're not going to get unbiased?
It is mad, the whole license fee thing. I guess Americans might not know this, but we have someone who comes around and knocks on your door and he says, "Do you watch TV?" And if you say yes, then he's like, "Well, you need to pay £180,
£180 a year or something." No, it's absolutely it's extortionate. It's the thing is,
they have like little vans they drive around and they can tell if you're watching TV.
Yeah, we threw potatoes. Like, he came into our house, we threw potatoes at him, and then we got fucking the police rock. Mate, actually, to be honest, this is a little bit more like interesting nowadays, because back then, I don't know, the times are a bit different. When what was it now? Fuck, it was probably 13 years ago this happened, or maybe longer. But back then, it was just a bit of a different thing. But now, actually, it's quite interesting. We refused to pay the TV license because actually we didn't have a TV. Legit, we were at uni. We didn't even have a television. I didn't have any money to fucking have a laptop. I had no money and I had nothing. And I was with my boys in the fucking uni halls, and they were forcing us to pay this fucking TV license. We're like, nah, we don't watch this fucking shit. We ended up throwing potatoes at him out of our window. And okay, it did get a little bit out of control. There was a fair amount of potatoes in the street, but the police came to our house and battered down the door and came upstairs into our uni flat. And I pretended to be asleep because I was like, fuck it, let's just pretend to be asleep. The policeman came into my room and grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and chucked me down the fucking stairs to pick up the potatoes. And I was thinking like, yo, yeah. Back in the day, I didn't care. I was like, 2 years, I probably deserved it. But like, if you really think about that, that's like enforcement of the government coming in to make me pay something that I didn't want to pay, even though I didn't even use the service. In a way, that is quite fucking communist. Like, it's not just quite communist. It's fucking crazy. Like, we just didn't want to. I did probably deserve it because of the potatoes, but like, he still threw me down the fucking stairs, and they battered down our door forcefully for not paying a TV license. They could have just been like, what could have happened is they said, okay, let's not go and get these 18-year-old blokes who don't use a television, and let's just not force them to pay it. Like, that would have actually been the best way to do it. But we retaliated with potatoes. We could have retaliated with something worse. We could have retaliated. We were just throwing potatoes at them. We knew it wasn't going to kill the guy. And we had a lot of fucking potatoes because we were eating a lot of fucking fish and chips. Like, we're talking potatoes out here, brother. But mate, bro, I think it's good. I think Trump should come in and try and bully the BBC a bit. Like, everyone's scared of the BBC. Fuck them.
Everyone's resigned. The two top people have just resigned from the BBC. The actual guy in charge of it, the big boss, and then the head of BBC News has resigned as well. And then, yeah, they're going to say sorry and all this shit. I don't think Trump will actually sue him for $1 billion. It already looks great. He's managed to get people to resign. They're going to put some stuff in the original documentary, some disclaimers, all that stuff. And they're not going to do it again for a while because they're just absolutely damaged.
But, bro, let me make one other point. There was a montage. There was a montage I saw on Twitter, and it had like 5 or 6 different times that this has happened. And one of the ones was
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, one of the ones
it's been fun for ages to do it.
What was another one? Another one was something to do with when they had the attack on, I can't remember, like the White House or something.
Yeah, the January 6th.
They were. The problem is, like, to me it's very, very dangerous because, like, who is doing that? Firstly, like, why is there an agenda in the BBC of left and right? It should not be political. It should be completely unbiased. It just document what's happening in the world so we know what's happening in the world. Why are you changing the fucking things to make it seem as though Trump's going to go down to the Senate and fight?
What would you say your favorite news broadcast or like news sources?
Bro, I don't know any of them. I don't watch any of them. I watch CNBC sometimes for Money Market Media. I watch a little. I have this one called. It's actually up on my screen. It's called. Type in this in your thing. It's called Straight Arrow News. There's one called Grounded. I've gone sometimes. Straight Arrow News, Grounded. Yeah, but that's all new shit. That's like the last year me using it. Like, really, I've just been kind of lucky that I never into it. Like, yeah, there it is. This is quite a good website. I found that actually what happens on X usually is what's said here. But to be honest, mate, news, I used to watch a bit of ITV news. I used to watch Sky, but like, I don't watch the news in a way that a lot of people do. I don't sit there like, I kind of just like rule my own world, you know? I just try and make my own fucking life the way it is. I don't think about
make my own way. Hey, so what, are you having a little ICOS, a little birthday celebration, little ICOS?
It's my birthday, isn't it? You know, I'm gonna go get a Weinstein. Shall I go get a beer? Who wants me to get a beer in the chat?
Mate, go full Eastern European, get German beers in, get the. I swear it's only people like from Eastern Europe that have the ICOS. Really, it's Ukrainians.
ICOS. Yes, honestly, the ICOS is a complete game.
I ever even saw it. Mate, I don't like the smell of ICOS though. It's horrible.
But you can get the berry flavor, mate.
I think we should jump into a chart or two and then come back to some news. We've got people asking you about Aero, if it's delicious.
I'm about to get a fucking beer.
We've got someone asking about setup on Link, whether that's going to be a long setup coming in. And we do have Nathan who asked about an hour ago to have a look at a few of his coins, and I was like, yeah, don't worry, we'll get to it. But it's your birthday.
It's my birthday. I'll do what I fucking want. This thing here, legitimately, guys, if you smoke cigarettes, I don't smoke cigarettes. I have an occasional fag if I'm on a night out or something, but if you smoke cigarettes like all the time, just get an ICOS. It takes a little bit of technique to get used to, but once you crack the code, it is generally a godsend because you don't get all the tar, you don't get all the chemicals. Well, you still get some, but you don't get it. I would say it's 90% better than a cigarette. In terms of, and the smell of a cigarette, I couldn't just do a ciggy in here, fuck it all up.
Lots of happy birthday messages coming in.
Yeah, it's my birthday today, but I'm just keeping it real clean, concise, and chill. But I appreciate the messages, legends. Senate advances billing bill to end longest ever US government shutdown. Yeah, I thought this was over. Is it not over yet? Is it still going?
No, well, today potentially it was supposed to be ending, or it has ended. I'm not too sure, but this is basically the latest.
Yeah, thanks.
I saw some stuff on Polymarket as well. It was a funny tweet earlier about some cab driver that was driving around a drunk Democrat who was saying that they've basically hammered it out and it will be ending today.
So what was the whole thing? So the government shut down. So I don't get it. So, but Trump is the government. So how has he allowed this to happen? Is it a mutiny essentially within his own Senate?
There's Congress that's shut down, so you can't get stuff that's passed. Loads of shit just can't function properly. Obviously, Trump's still just going about his business. It is kind of hard to get your head around how the American system works when there's stuff like this that happens. Like
I think they have a right. There is a right.
How can you have a government shut down? That phrase doesn't make sense to me. But it's just like parts of the government and the Congress. And
I think there is a law that says that you're allowed to like do this in terms of like, because obviously there's a great long history of government going against the people, which is called, if I remember the fucking name, tyrannical, tyranny. Okay, so I think there is something in law which says you're allowed to do this, but the issue I have with it is like, because Donald Trump is the president and he has a majority vote, so he is the one who makes the decisions. He makes the fucking decision. So in a way, it is kind of a little bit of a fascist regime here, because like you're trying to silence someone who was voted in by the people for your own gain, for whatever it is. It's just probably the Senate's full of lefties and they just don't like what Trump's doing. But he got voted in by the people, so just do what he says. Like, a funny thing.
Apparently, air traffic control don't get paid. That's why I've been seeing so many people sketched out about getting on planes and stuff at the moment.
It's like, and all of that danger in just to fight against someone you don't want. Like, the issue is like, look, I didn't see a government shutdown when Biden won. The thing is, what you see a lot is that in the recent history of humanity, let's call it, that left-wing people are just a little bit more dangerous in terms of violence against the right. But the problem is, like, when Biden won, there wasn't much happening. Like, they didn't close down the fucking government. They didn't fight against it. The right-wing people just went, okay, well, we'll just have to see what he does and go along with it. But Trump pressures to get back to work now. Yeah, well, yeah, you need that.
There's just loads of issues with funding and stuff. So a lot of the people are not getting paid for working in air control and stuff. Maybe I wouldn't be taking any flights at the moment.
And the issue they have is with Boeing. There's been so many problems with Boeing in terms of the amount of so this is one of the reasons why Boeing is so fucked, is because they have so many regulations within the companies that make it so expensive to do certain processes. And there's a very big argument to say that because of the regulations within Boeing, and also the difficulty for competitors to arise in the American system for aviation, is that a lot of what Boeing did to cut corners was to try and escape the cost of what they had to do through regulation. And I think we would all agree that it's good to regulate companies that have people's lives at stake. I completely get that in loads of different accounts. But the problem is, I think that they had these crazy things where they had to spend, I think, hundreds of thousands of dollars just on like the most tiny little processes within the business. And they said, oh, well, we can't afford it. So they skipped a lot of these processes. And I think there was a system called ICAS. I can't remember the exact name. I watched a documentary about it, but there was a system within Boeing planes called ICAS. And Boeing said, we're not going to go through the normal process of making sure it's 100% safe because it would be too expensive because of regulation. So the issue is like, if you regulate things too much, you're just going to reduce the quality of the service. And I think that's probably to do with the Boeing situation, where there's just so much fucking stuff happening in terms of cost that they just tried to cut corners and then they fucked up. Obviously, there's going to be, fatal, like, bad human error as well involved. But, like, you need a free open market for that. They need a big competitor as well. I think Airbus is their main competitor. But that's a European company. Anyway, long story short.
Yeah, long and short of it, I think that, this week the shutdown should end because they've still got there's a couple days. It's a couple days process to get it up and running again. You've got to reboot the Congress server.
Mate, that video going the video going viral of that guy who's making out the UK situation being like some gamer lobby. Have you seen it? It's fucking genius.
Yeah.
It's like the new Earth update. You have VPN players coming into the United Kingdom and taking benefits that non-VPN players don't get. This is causing issues. It's so funny. It's kind of real.
Yeah, I'll get it up.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a Weinsteiner. All right, guys, I'm going to get a beer for my birthday, so we'll hang around. I'm going to go pour myself, and we'll have a long conversation about... Yeah, you watch this. Watch it. It's hilarious.
Knows that the server admin, K. Starling, has put all the UK players on one health recently, especially since the last summer DLC event where he sent UK players to the prison server for typing words. Well, K. Starling did it again. So everyone knows that most male players love to do the gooning special attack. This is where they watch other players spawning for a +10 dopamine stat increase. Well, now K. Starling has made it that if you want to do a gooning special attack, you must first verify your character. But this is more than just a gooning nerf, because we've seen similar patches first released to the Chinese communist server. This means it's likely we'll see more character security nerfs later down the line. In my opinion, L update. UK players have just gotten a huge nerf.
Yeah, this Brian Johnson stuff, I don't know if you saw this, but he live streamed, or he didn't actually live stream the thing, but he was live tweeting him taking magic mushrooms over yesterday. It actually started. But he said he was taking 5 grams of magic mushrooms, but I actually think that it was more like 2.5. Why is my screen not sharing? Yeah, it was more like 2.5.
Wait, we get it up. Yeah, what are you saying, bro? Carry on.
That video I just played, that was more about when the age verification stuff came in, so people couldn't use porn sites.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You can't see it.
When that came in. Well, I don't know. Did you know about this? So yesterday, Brian Johnson, the longevity expert, who just like his mission is to never die. He did a experiment where he took 5 grams of magic mushrooms, and then he was maybe going to live stream it, but he didn't in the end.
Yeah, he's a pussy. I think. No, Brian Johnson's an absolute legend. He's basically like commercialized longevity stuff. Because I've been following people like David Wolf and Dr. Axe and Dr. Berg for years, maybe even 15 years. I was talking about spirulina back in the day. But yeah, no, he's a legend. He's brought it to a super clinical level though. His way of looking at longevity is like way more blood work based and like food based.
22 and 20, and so
yeah, put it on. What's he talking about?
It's just him chatting loads of shit about this. It's like a 20-minute video, but it's him explaining. He takes it with orange juice to help metabolize get the juices going.
Apparently he was found in his bed with his eye patch on after the magic mushrooms, just in silence in his bed. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I'd say that would be the worst thing to do. Is like for your first time ever taking shrooms, and then you go and lay down and cover your eyes so you're in pitch black. I swear, like that's when you could probably, I don't know, go and visit some different dimensions. I feel like it's easier to be able to focus on stuff and do things.
Oh, that is a birthday Weinstein Fenger.
There you go, look.
It officially hit. Nah, bro. The thing is, it's obviously a bit of marketing, but like 5 grams is a lot. So I think that could like that guy we were talking about the other day, who has a show. He used to be called All Gas No Breaks. He said he did something like this, and he had like long-lasting effects for like years.
I can't persistent hallucinations. They just I don't know what the term is, but that'd be quite kind of fun for a while, I guess. But then you would just be like,
it depends on how you react to these types of things. I've seen people do hallucinogenics and have best time of their life, and then I've seen people. I went to a party once. One of my friends Sam had a party in like a field, like a mini festival with like 100 of we were all friends. And then I think a couple of dudes went too far with LSD, and mate, they were fucked up, like screaming, like we had ambulances and shit. They were like completely gone. Mate, what was it? His face looks wrecked.
Yeah, well, he's fairly old, isn't he? And it's not the best angle. He's lying down in bed, and he's tripping his balls off.
All right, legends. In the description below, I have my Instagram account. You need to follow me on Instagram because I do a lot of talking about this beer. Now, let me drink it a little bit more so you can see the actual title. This, legends, read this. It'll be backwards, but it says Weinstein Fanger. This is actually the deeper Hefe malt, so it's a darker color. God, it feels so good. But like, bro, and legends out there, this beer, type it in. Let's do ChatGPT right now. I'm actually going to bring up, I can't even spell, Stefan, yeah. Okay, listen to this. Stefano. Why is it so good? Like, if you guys drink beer, this is literally the god of all beer. This is higher than any beer I've ever had. This is like the gold standard of beer. Now, read this on the screen. It comes from the oldest brewery in the world since 1040. So basically, they've been making beer for 1050 years. It's I need to burp actually, one sec, because I've had a few of those fucking beverages. Let me just get rid of this.
Do you like Erdingers?
Wow, that was a big one. Say again?
Yeah, I've had a couple of Erdingers before. They're quite nice. They're the
Legends.
beer Erdingers, kind of similar.
It's a Bavarian style beer from Munich. It's annoying how it's German because there's a billion reasons why I hate the Germans in many different regards. But the Germans did. The thing is, the Germans have done beer the best. I know it's a shame to say it. It should be the Brits. It should be the United Kingdom. And maybe actually, this is 1,000 years old, so we're kind of fucked, really. They just beat us, legends. They beat, like when they beat us in the World Cup all the time. They kind of beat us on this one, but they have this special Bavarian purification act, or purification or purity act, called like the Rheinstein fucker. What's it called? Let me have a look at it. It will say it here somewhere. It's brewed under some sort of, yeah, here we go. The Reinheits, you're actually better at pronouncing German than me, Pete, but it's Reinheitsgebot. The Reinheitsgebot. How would you pronounce that, bro? That word. Can you see it? You can't see it on my screen, can you?
No, I can't.
It's a fucking crazy word.
I'm sure you did a good job.
Reinheitsgebot. So basically, it's a law which was passed in 1516. We're doing the
Rheinsgebot, I reckon. That's my attempt. Rheinsgebot.
Okay, maybe. Right, moving on. Rheinsgebot. So all it is, legends, and they added yeast later, but it's water, barley, wheat malt, hops, and yeast. But they added yeast.
No chemmies.
Bruv, basically all it is from the standard which they created was water, barley, wheat, malt, and hops. And that's all it is. That's literally everything it has inside it. And then it creates yeast. This beer is unbelievably delicious, and you do not get a hangover. You don't get a hangover, guys. Okay, look, if you drink 20, you're going to feel it. But I'm saying, if you drink 5 pints, if you drank 5 pints of Guinness, you would feel it. 100%. We did that the other day, didn't we, Pete, in London? We went to that pub. What was the pub called? You know the fucking name.
What is going on in my memory? I can't remember anything these days. It's completely gone. It's only like one of the biggest, fucking most famous place to get a Guinness in London.
No, it's in the centre. In the
I
chat.
can't remember where it was.
It was in very near the Golden Square, Piccadilly Circus. It was in Piccadilly. It's in the middle of Piccadilly, but
I can't remember.
No, I can't remember fuck all either. Getting old, but like if you have 5 Guinnesses, legends, you will feel it. Like there's no chance. You're not going to get away from it because they purify and they skim the black malt within it, and I think it comes from the hops or the barley. I don't know exactly, but it's like a black hop or a black barley which they use, but they process it massively so it gets rid of all the yeast. You drink 5 of these, you wake up and you feel 10% better than you did the next day. So essentially, there's a compounding effect here, because you don't feel 10% better because you're still drunk. The alcohol's all gone. You just feel better. I don't know what it is. It's the yeast. Basically, the yeast within it has lots of B vitamins. It'll probably mention it in here somewhere. But a lot of the reason why you get, oh my God, this ChatGPT's done an absolute blast off analysis, why it feels so good, legacy involved, the drinking experience, the fermentation, and oh, here we go. So the Weinstein Fänger doesn't rush fermentation. So many modern beers ferment in 3 to 5 days. The Weinstein Fänger ferments for up to 14 days. So basically, there's something in it, as well, yeast, where it has lots of B vitamins in it. And a lot of the reason why you feel so shit the next day is because your body creates folate, and your body creates other chemicals that are quite damaging. They make you feel shit and they dehydrate you. But I know this from doing it myself. I drank 10 of these in fucking Italy and I didn't have a hangover. But the reason I think it is because the yeast gives you back all the B vitamins, and it's essentially probiotic in a way. It's actually good for your gut microbiome if you have like 1 or 2. But honestly, guys, this is the best beer ever made. It's the longest brewed beer in the world. It's 1,000 years old. They've been brewing it for 1,050 years. It's wheat beer, so it's, again, very, very low in. There's no stabilizers, no chemicals, no bollocks, no emulsifiers. It's only 3 things from the German Purification Act, the Purity Act. It's delicious, especially this one. This one's a darker malt. And knowing me, I've gone through the whole fucking spectrum. I've gone through the plethora of different types. Yeah, one called, so there's the normal original, which is fucking amazing. More like the banana fruity flavor. This is like more deep, dark, kind of got a little bit of like the coffee in there. And then you've got another one, which is called, it's called Vetus. And it's an 8% version. And guys, we're talking, they didn't add any alcohol, add any ethanol, add any bollocks to it. It's just longer. Whatever they've done, they've let it sit for a while. you know when you let it sit for a while and it gets stronger.
Who was that legend on Instagram that all of his posts were just about this one beer?
Okay, look, there's a dude on Instagram. I personally DM'd him. I didn't get a response because he stopped.
Yeah, he hasn't been posting for a year.
Yeah. I think maybe the Weinstein got it to him, but like,
yeah, he had too many.
But like the thing is about these beers, you've got people out there just making whole fucking channels and Instagram accounts just on the basis of promoting the beer. But yeah. So here it is: the yeast, the soul of the flavor. Just type this into ChatGPT. Is fucking mental. Banana, like I said, clove, a touch of bubblegum, vanilla warmth, no added flavoring, so it's completely. I just like the fact that like you can completely rely on the fact that it's pure because of this act, which is written in law. And it makes you think, like, those fucking legends. Like, there were some people out there in Germany, and I'm ashamed that it couldn't be the Brits, but it was Germans, and they were like, we're going to make a law that forces companies to make the beer pure so we can just enjoy it without having to worry about it. Because if you actually look at what's inside, things like Peroni, even Heineken to a degree. Actually, Heineken's very low. But let's just take something like a Stella, or take something like those things we had in. I actually researched the super box and shit, Pete. Remember when we said that it tastes like a little bit like honey, and like it's a little bit too nice. It's a little bit like let's go. It's because they fill it with shit. They fill it with shit, and they don't have to put it on the bottle. They don't have to actually state exactly what they put in it. So I think what happened is the Germans realized that beer companies have a monopoly on what they put in it, and they don't actually have to tell you. Let's force them to make sure it's pure. Because it's just such good beer, legends, honestly. It's called Weinstein Fänger. It's my favorite fucking beer. I found it in the Bolsonian Mountains in northern Italy. And it's almost like I wasn't even planning on going there. It was like a random trip with my girlfriend. And I was like, let's check it out, because she was up for the mountains. And I went to this beautiful, pristine place. And out of the woodwork came a shining light of this new beer. I randomly tried it. And I was just like, I said to the bartender, I was like, what is this? And he was giving me the whole 9 yards. This one's actually Maxinia. This one's called Weinstein Fänger. And there's like loads of them as well. But he told me that this is the best one. And I've just never gone back. I'm having one every fucking night now. I'm going to make it into a tradition. My family, my children, their children, they're going to be like, and look at the logo. It's like a fucking... Look at that logo, Pete.
I know, I've got it up on the screen.
Honestly, bro, like, I'm kind of like a little... I've had half a pint now. I'm feeling a bit like getting the bubbles, getting the malts, getting the flavors.
Yeah, where's your birthday, mate? You know,
it's my birthday.
enjoy a couple of wines.
It's gone blue. One sec. Let me make this go back better again. If you click that, it should now be. Look at my face. There we go. Got the lights back on. But anyway, I just want to make this point. I actually want to make a clip about this. So Fahad, if you're watching, I want a good clip about this beer. I want to promote this. I want to be an ambassador. I want to be a part of the company. I want them to reach out and say, Max, we're going to give you a fucking free supply as long as you drink it on stream, even though you're not allowed to drink on YouTube. But no, I don't know, man. To be honest, one of the reasons why I stopped drinking, like as much as I did at uni and shit, was because of the hangies. I'm like, I just can't deal with this. Like, I want to do things the next day. I want to continue to build my empire or build my fucking relationships or whatever it is. You just don't want to be hanging because it puts a bad fucking light on things. But like, I don't know. It feels like God said, look, Max, you love drinking, bro. And I'm going to put something in front of you that's not going to hinder you in your journey, but it's going to be delicious and you're still going to have the benefits. And it's just like Weinsteinfänger came into my life. I'm like, whoa, at the perfect time as well. You know, in the 30s, you're not really looking for the bottles of tequila anymore or the vodkas. You're just looking at the nice chilled beer and a chat with your boy. But anyway, I'm going on a bit of a rant. It's the Weinsteinfänger. I'm getting a little bit emotional because I've had one and now you got to check it out. It's the best beer on this planet. And I don't really know anything that even tastes as nice as it, even non-alcoholic. Like even like it tastes better than a fucking milkshake. And guys, also what I do is I put the beers in the fridge, obviously, at the top shelf at 2 degrees, and I put the pint glass in the fridge as well. So when you pour the drink into the pint glass, you keep the coldness for way longer. It never gets to that point of heat. It's just, and I'm in Dubai. I got to think ahead, you know. But it's my birthday. I might have a couple. Just really fucking ramp this up. Anyway, that was my rant. Let me say a few more words for Fahad for the clip. The Weinsteinfänger is the best beer ever known to creation. It's been brewed for over 1,000 years, 1,050 years. It's got a purification law from the Germans, respect to Germany, and Munich specifically. And it's just a fucking great beer. And also, where I found it is in the mountains. So what you do, this is what I'm definitely going to do. And Pete, we should do this together, bro. This would be a fucking sick bit of content. There's
Go to the brewery.
not the brewery, but we can go there as well. But I'm saying the mountains where I first drank it is a ski resort. So mate, I can't think of anything better than getting off the slopes after a long day of fucking beautiful snowplow, whatever you call it, powder snow. You're skiing down the mountain and you ski into the pub and you're like, give me a fucking Weinsteiny. And you have a Weinsteiny with a fire on. Mate, that sounds so good. I'm actually like a little bit euphoric about the whole idea of it. Like you get off the slopes, you're like freezing cold, you get into like a nice wooden cabin and you have a fucking Weinstein. Give me some more of that now.
Yeah, they are nice. I like the Lefes as well. They're pretty good.
The thing is about Lethes, and I remember when I came to Bristol, I was like, let's go find Lethes. Lethes are quite similar, but they completely neutralize all of the yeast in it. And they process it multiple times. So you do get a bad hangover. It generally comes down to the fact, and this is in most things actually, any food that is fermented or alive or has some sort of bacteria content in it, for instance, like sauerkraut, kefir, even like cheese and shit. When you eat fermented foods, they're way more healthy for you because you kind of like grow the bacteria, which the microgut biome, but it has yeast in it. So how much longer are we going to talk about Weinstein? I could go on for fucking hours.
Mate, I'm actually really impressed by how long you can fucking go on about the Weinstein beer. And it's not just even this time now as well. It's like every other day you're really bringing it up.
I know. And also, like, I don't know, I'm probably going to end up like that guy on Instagram where I change my name to Weinstein and I just travel the world with a beer. And, like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, follow me on Insta, because on Instagram I do it. I'm continuously, the commentary on the evolution of the beer's been changing. I've even got the fucking glasses here. Anyway, let me have a look at... ooh, perfect wheat to barley ratio. It's actually crazy how fucking ChatGPT gives you this much information about a beer.
Yeah, ChatGPT could really give you a run for your money. How much
know.
you guys could talk about it.
Look, it even has a section about the drinking experience. You can't see my screen. Let me give you the sections, Pete. This is what we're working with. So it says...
I can see your screen.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
it's
cool.
tiny.
Oldest brewery in the world. Brewed under the Reinheitsgebot Bot, purification law. It said now it's got the yeast, the soul of the flavor.
Someone wrote in the chat, it's really good for you.
Exceptionally soft and mineral balanced. Oh, mineral balanced. Because everyone says that, everyone used to say that Guinness is like kind of healthy because it has iron in it. When you actually look at the numbers, it's like...
Yeah, for pregnant women.
Yeah, but it's got iron, so drink it when you're pregnant. But apparently it's like you'd have to drink like 20 pints to have the equivalent of one egg or something, which is just like ridiculous. Anyway, moving on swiftly. The hops, subtle and balanced, the perfect wheat-barley ratio. What does this mean? Okay, the Hefe Weinsbier. So that's what it's called. It's Weinsteinfänger. Then it says Hefe Weinzer, which I think means wheat beer. And then Hefe. So typically has 60 to 70% wheat malt. And the rest is barley malt. This gives it a fuller mouthfeel. That sounds a bit weird. Natural cloudiness, high carbonation, and frothy head retention. Wow. Fermentation.
Yeah, go. Are you done with Weinstein? Are you
honestly, bro, I don't think I can move on. I don't think I can move on. Like, what else are we gonna talk about? Like, it's like when you go to the highest level of like human endeavor, and then you're like, well, what else am I gonna do? Like, you've seen the best. When you've seen the best, everything else is boring. Like, this is the best.
All right, listen. I think we should bring up the link chart. Someone's gone in on the long, and he says he's doing pretty well now. Let's chat about a couple of altcoins, and then we'll go back to.
We're getting by the way, I did just say we're getting something now. I reckon it's like this, back in, and then here we go. So it's got a link marine in the chat. They've got a link marine.
He's in a long right now.
The link marine's in a long. Let's find out on perpetual swaps. What was your entry, brother? What price? Give me some numbers.
There's a bit of a delay on that info coming in, mate. It'll be a couple of minutes before that comes in.
All right, listen, boys, just to shield my own product. If you've got no idea what you're doing in trading, you need AI charting tools from MDX Algo, my company. You click, look, there's nothing on the chart, then boom, everything becomes clear. All the resistance levels, all the support levels, all the daily and monthly and weekly opens. Sometimes I do sometimes look at my shit and go, what? No, I think this is quite a nice move. It needs to get above here. Like, that's where it's seen resistance, of course. But the thing is, I know I'm going to zoom out and be a little bit worried about the old link stuff because I was calling. Is it $16? Oof. So, legends, I remember back in the day I was saying that Link is the best chart in crypto. And when Link so basically, this was the best chart in crypto. When Link did this for literally a year and a half, and then it did that, I was calling for it to be the best chart in crypto because everybody was like, oh no, I missed the move. I missed Link. Oh no, it's never going to go back below 10. It was $10. Yeah, exactly. It was $10. They were like, no, we're never going to get $10 again. And I was like, legends, this is the best chart in crypto because it's going to come back to the scene of the crime. And it literally went back to $10. And I actually bought, I think it was like 400K or some shit. Like, it was mental, and it just went like that. I haven't actually taken profit on that trade, and this really did dent the confidence in the altcoin market. The issue is, with that liquidation event, which happened last month, it's just not a good look, legends. Like, it was a bad... We got Bitcoin at basically all-time highs. It drops 15%, and lots of altcoins essentially lost the majority of their value. But the thing is with a Link, this isn't actually that bad. If you look at other charts like Sui, that was a crazy chart. But anyway, that was like a fucking lunar event.
We got went in at 16.01, 100x is doing a scalp. 100x.
We're at 16.1 right now, so you're in the fucking trenches, boss. You're right. You like, you know, when you
16.01.
the way you're trading is like when there's big systemic battles, there's generals. There's guys who aren't even on the battlefield. They're looking at the battlefield from afar. And then you've got like the engineers, the creation, they're like facilitating the battle. Then you've got like dudes who are like giving the ammunition to the trench. And then you've got the dudes in the trench. And then you've got the dudes who are actually crossing no man's land into another trench. You're so far down the rabbit hole on the front lines, on 100x, on fucking... I can't give you any advice. You are dabbling with the bullets skimming across your fucking brow, bro. You're literally ducking and diving the bullets right now, boss.
84% up, and it's a female, actually.
Bruv, you want to make it any more mental? you're literally crossing no man's land, and you're a chick, bruv. You gotta watch your shit, boy, girl. You gotta watch it out. You can't even pick up the gun. Like, this is crazy out here.
There you go, sending some love hearts in the chat for that. My dog's going absolute mental.
84% up. I'm a girl, actually. Okay. Sunrise. I know Sunshine Girl. Sunshine. I know Sunshine Girl. I'm a scalper. Look, let me click on the 1 minute, then have a look. I'm actually going to give you something. So you got in at 60. You're in here somewhere, right? So you can look at the fucking chart. You're in here somewhere. You've now done, if you're on 100x, whatever you put in, you're probably, you're up 1%. So times it by 100, you're probably around there. The issue is you firstly, you entered at support, which is, admirable. You can enter at support. The problem is you haven't broken any resistance. So like you can see these blue lines. These are basically like the levels of things you need to do to actually take over the opposition trench. This is the German trenches. So at the minute you're kind of just getting over the brow of the first trench, and there's bullets flying. Like you might be that guy who just puts his head up and then buff. Head above the parapet, buff. You're back in your own trench. So like, if you do something like this, you're very likely on this trade going to get your entry retested. And then if you do break that, then you're going here, and then you could see it happening. But
90%.
She's literally documenting every single tick. It's going up right now.
90%.
I would say you're likely going to get, you can see resistance, resistance, resistance. You're probably going to get it again. But what you want to see is it hold support in the mid, and then that will be the break. But I don't trade like that. I would actually short now. Whoops, let me go back. So for me, if I'm lower time, I would look for a short here, and then I would look for the long, probably at the low wick. So I'd look for a short and then a long here. Very similar to like the Bitcoin chart, actually, at the minute. Why am I on the wrong? That was total 2. Let me go back to total 2. So I would say, for instance, BTC. Let's go on an hourly time frame. Yeah, so you can see how actually we're breaking out of this area. We broke it, now we're coming back to it. So essentially, like if you had played that game, which I've been talking about in my Discord, you see this? Right now, you're in the position and you put your stop loss below it. And like this is kind of how I want to play it. I want to see it hit the next resistance, then come to support. But if Link does that, so you see these levels you have on Link here, you see it was going resistance, resistance. If it then breaks out and then holds support, then you can add to your position. My lines are getting less and less directed because the Weinstein finger is now gone 1 pint. God damn, that's some good shit. That is crazy good. Pete, are you still there, my friend? Oh, mate, Pete's gone again. Pete's died again. Pete Dirtywork, you're on mute. You're muted, brother. Pete Dirtywork. Okay, so what we got here? What? Railgun when you get a minute. My main bag. What's the ticker on that? Rail, is it? That sounds a little bit dodgy. Let me actually put it on a different... No. Let me get my Bitcoin chart back up. Let me whip up Railgun. Pete's having some technical issues back in the backers. He's getting whoopity-wappity whipped onto the old Weinstein Fenger. Let me do fucking... Make sure I'm looking sexy for the cami. You know what I'm saying? Right, Railgun.
What's going on with this music?
I can't hear nothing.
I've got some mad music on the guy in the background.
Oh, no, you're probably playing that. Oh no, it's not coming out of the speakers. Railgun, bruv. Like Nasdaq, obviously not. Like,
yeah, Rail. Someone was asking for.
yeah, I'm on Rail, but there's MEXC. Oh, are you trading Rail on MEXC? Because if you are, you're about to get yourself railed, my friend. This is his biggest bag. To be honest, the chart's not bad. The problem is with this chart, young squire, you haven't got much previous price action, which is one thing. It is actually not bad. You do have higher lows coming in on this, and you do have, you know, big wick, but, you know, you can't bet against it. It probably will continue to do that in some sort of parabolic phase, but when it breaks it, it will likely do that like it's done in the past. So, you know, I would say actually you probably are right. You know, there's probably a buy in here somewhere, like, you know, around $4. There's probably a buy in there. You got to have your stop losses below your wicks on manual trading. Slight lower high there. It's a difficult one. I would say it probably does actually result in higher prices, but if you have your whole fucking net worth in Rail, I don't know what the actual market cap is. You got to be a little bit careful. But I don't want to bang on this drum over and over again, but you need to automate because we're about to fucking launch Botmaster. You can see it's not available yet here. Botmaster is coming out. And this is a complete game changer for anyone who wants to automate. Also, the bots that we give you to automate, you can still manual trade them. But get on the wait list. I've already mentioned it. But in the link in the description, there's a link to the wait list. And the wait list is for Black Friday, but also it's for the
I'll put it in the chat.
The new product we're launching is a Botmaster, and it's a wait list for that. But basically, the way we're doing it is, hopefully, if we can do this properly, guys, we can bring there's the link. We can bring bots to a level where anyone can use them. Because at the moment, if we give you an indicator like AlgoMaster and you want to make it into a bot, you have to backtest that indicator, and we can only show you 25 prior trades. That means that you don't really know how good it is in the long run. So what we've done is we've created a backtesting script, which Daegel and Ingo, who are the two dudes, the specialists, they've been doing this for years. They are constantly testing the indicators for the best settings in the backtested script. Then what we do on Botmaster is we have a visualization of it, so we have a table, and we show you all of the settings for all of the indicators that have the best results. But they update them all the time. So they're consistently updating the settings to make sure that they are... It's essentially what we're doing is it's a manual machine learning system. Because you could have a machine doing it, but the machines sometimes get it wrong. So you have people consistently looking at the settings, making sure they're the best they can be. You then get the Botmaster front end. You can choose which one's doing the best because they're doing the back testing for you. So what we're doing is we're getting a team to do the back testing for you. Then all you need to do is get the settings from the Botmaster front end, click one button, your trading view turns into the right settings on the indicator, and it will be called Botmaster. You can also do this on AlgoMaster. And then Botmaster will have the right settings with a profitable strategy. You can manually trade it if you want, but you can then also connect that to a third party, and our partner is Wonder Trading. We are going to build that into our own system, but Wonder Trading for right now is the third party. So you can essentially bet that you have a team of people finding the best settings. You use those settings to then automate or just manually trade it. So it's going to be a good product. And it's going to be one of those products where, like, the real Zen legends who understand trading will use it first, and they'll be our kind of consistent user base. And then more people who see them doing well will then take the plunge into bots, because bots is the only way to really do this consistently over a long period of time. Because manual trading is possible, because I did it myself, but I'm saying if you want to reduce the curve of losses to making more money faster, you need to be doing automation. But the manual trading side is you have to put a lot of effort into it. It takes a long time. But we're taking that away. We're taking all the back testing effort away, so you can just get a product that they're doing all the work for you. You just copy the settings to get the strategy. Anyway, I'll articulate it in a better way when we actually launch it, and I'll be able to show you on stream. But this is going to be a good product, and it's a very valuable product because the value comes from the time it takes to get the right settings for the bots for you to then use. So it's going to be interesting. Anyone running the...
Someone... Yeah, the ChatGPT stuff. What do you think about that? People using ChatGPT to run their trades for it?
I don't know about that. I don't know about ChatGPT running trades for you. I know ChatGPT can create scripts, and I know ChatGPT can create you a script which can work on a asset class, because with SPX, all of that information is public on the internet. So you can already find trading strategies that work on the SPX for decades. It's not hard. Like, guys, like literally, I'll show you one right now. So SPX, let's not do the inflation adjusted, obviously. If you bring up now on this chart, which is our flagship at the minute, Algo Master, if you put it onto the daily time frame, or weekly, of course, but the daily time frame, you're going to see an exceptionally profitable strategy, because the stock market is not... Let me quickly put it onto... Let me turn on back testing. So what you want to see is simple. Let's put it on autopilot so it gets the best settings. On thing is, we already have this built in, guys. Everything's built here, but like we're allowing you to take the best settings from someone else who's back testing on a longer time frame. You can only see the last 25 trades. So right now, like this has done 16% in the last 10 trades. Okay, and that's beaten the stock market. The stock market has not gone up 16%. So this buy signal here is a great example. Great buy. You're in the market. So ChatGPT can easily do this. It can create you a script or a set of parameters that work on the stock market. What ChatGPT can't do, or it could do, but you have to keep updating it, is it can't give you a strategy that will work on new assets, new stocks, new shares, new coins, Bitcoin changing its environment. It can't consistently spit you out a new piece of a script, a piece of code, an algo that will continuously work on all different market environments. It can give you one market environment if it's got the data for it. The stock market, we've got the data for it. It's not hard. You just have to be patient. But with new assets and smaller things, you need to consistently update and change and make sure that the settings are good, because the settings are always based on the fact that are they aggressive or are they passive? If the market is being passive, passive will work. If the market is aggressive, aggressive will work. And it works on the basis of the factor between how many trades it takes and how many it doesn't. So it's not really possible to do ChatGPT on a level where it's going to always consistently find you the best settings for each asset. And also ChatGPT doesn't have access to the price in the given point you're in right now. So ChatGPT could create you a strategy, but the thing is, strategies always change because people always change. And when people change, the market changes, because if the participants change in the market, it means that you buy and sell different prices. Or because the participants are buying this price, it means that the market is manipulated by the participants itself. So you're never going to get to a point where ChatGPT comes up with this incredible strategy that is a golden bullet, because you just have the situation where someone's using ChatGPT here and someone using ChatGPT there. You still got to take into account that if your strategy is successful, that means that it's good, and then people will do the good, successful strategy, which means the more people who understand it's a good, successful strategy, the closer it becomes to not being profitable, because not everyone can make money. We know that it's literally a factor of mathematics or physics. Not everyone can make money, because if everyone made money, there'd be no one to buy off, because there's got to be someone who's trading with you. So there has to be people who lose money, there has to be people who make money for you to make money. There has to be a loser and a winner in trading. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we might get to a point where algorithms fight algorithms, but there's never going to be one algorithm that always wins, because then the algos are fighting each other, because it's difficult to explain, and maybe I'm articulating in a bad way, but I'm saying that if you become successful, the more successful you become, the closer you are to that strategy not being successful. It's the success in itself which is the indicator of you then not being successful with that strategy, because the strategy can't work forever. Because if it's successful, then it's going to be used, and then everybody uses it, and then everyone puts all their money on the same price, and then guess what? If all the money's on the same price, you never get that price. So then the strategy has to change. It's not possible. That's why trading is a long-term thing, because AI can't break it. There's never going to be like a thing where like now everyone in the market makes money with AI. It's like, no, it's not possible, because the AI itself buying and selling is manipulating the price itself. It's like if you are good, you change the thing that's good, and then it in itself just, I don't know. Does that make sense, Pete? I'm going to get another beer at this point. Fuck you.
Yeah, get the beers in. Margot was going mental in the background then.
What, Margot Nation?
Yeah, I think so. We've got a couple of chats in here. Load your spreads and input into chat and ask it to summarize. Oh, he's just chatting about how he's using ChatGPT.
Load your
Yeah,
spreads
it's
into
interesting.
input to chat and ask it to summarize exits and entries. Yeah, we've all like you could literally type in right now. Literally like this is so easy, guys. I'll do it right now. Write a Pine script trading strategy that is profitable on the SPX on a daily time frame using SMAs. All right, it's going to write the code right now, and very likely it will be profitable. You still have to input that into TradingView, and you still have to input that into the MT4 or Meta, whatever it is. You still got to input that information. PineScript is a native language for TradingView, so you still got to input that, and you still got to make that work, and then you still got to look at the backtesting script. But it's going to write the code right now. It will do it because. Okay, here we go. Short answer: I can give you an SMA strategy in Pine that can be profitable in SPX daily in certain periods. Exactly. So it's kind of the caveat it's saying is like this will work sometimes depending on the environment. And then here's the code. And you can copy and paste this, put it into Pine, fiddle around with it, and you can do all these things. One of my main strategies is an EMA strategy, not an SMA. It's an EMA strategy that uses 3 exponential moving averages, which are all Fibonacci numbers. And it works because I've been doing it for so long. But anyone can do that. But you're going to make your money over 5 years. Not 5 minutes. Because they've got to remember, like a 5-minute trading strategy has so many variants of it becoming unprofitable. Because if it's going to trade that much, what happens if the market changes? It's a lot of things that are automation. Sorry, a lot of things AI will change forever. But I don't believe that the nature of being able to get into something early and be someone who got into something late, because that in itself is a fact of nature, okay? I don't think AI can break that because it's not feasible to create a system that... It's a really difficult thing to try and say. I don't know how to say it, but I'm saying that trading in itself, there's always going to be a winner and a loser, and there's going to be early adopters and there's going to be late adopters. And because things that are successful are usually represented in the price increasing on some level. So for instance, when a company is good, the price goes up. The price doesn't go down when something's good. The reason the price goes up is because demand goes up. It comes into supply and demand as well, because the price goes up because demand rises. And if there's the same amount of stock with more demand, the price must go up. But the reason the price is going up is because the thing is more valuable, and then other people need to bid more of whatever the denomination is, US dollars, for that thing. What you might get to a point is that all human beings all use AI to create their bots. But they're still writing a bot. Because an AI writing the bot still creates an automated bot. So the bot never changes. It's just maybe the tools to make the bots change, but you still need to always change what the AI how it makes the bot, because the bot will never work forever. If I came out and said, if I came out and said that I have a bot that's done 1,000% in the last hour and it works, what's going to happen is lots of people are going to adopt that strategy. And if everyone adopts that strategy, that means more and more money will be placed on the buy and sell signals exactly where that bot said to buy and sell. And inherently by doing that, the more money buying the same price means the price moves more. Because when you buy, it goes up. When you sell, it goes down. So you have a dichotomy here, which means that if you are good, you change the thing. And then when you change the thing, that inherently will mean that the thing that was good will not be good forever, because the more money you put on it, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion. If you wanted to buy $1 trillion at a certain price, guess what? The price goes like that, and then you change the whole market because you bought $1 trillion on that price. So anyway, does that make sense? In the chat, are we getting sense or nonsense? I'm gonna have another beer. It's my birthday, bro.
I think it's beer.
Am I getting a bit philosophical down here?
There's a bit of nonsense coming on, brother. No, but I know what you mean. Like, they're always trying to find new edges. So it's, you know.
Yeah. Well, they're always trying to find new edges because it's always evolving. And if you are successful, inherently you change the thing that you're trading itself. So it's really, really interesting, really, when you get down to it. But I'm just saying to you right now that you need to constantly change your strategies to adopt to the environment that you're in.
Yeah, I think
Peter Williams. Okay, bro. I'll tell you right now, there's 1 billion people on the internet probably. There is no one doing Botmaster the way we're doing it, because we're using manual input to get you the backtested results. We're updating that on a daily, weekly basis. So we have specialists who are updating the bots themselves in a manual. If I could automate that, that'd be great. But I haven't got the resources right now to work out a system to automate the settings for you with an AI. I'm just saying I've got specialists who manually change the settings and they make sure the settings are always profitable. I could quickly show you something. I don't really want to give it away because I've got it on staging. Yes, it makes sense. Drink up now. All right, I've got the blue light again. Look, watch this. Pop that on, and then now you probably can see me in bright light.
Is it on
again.
a cycle?
Well, the thing is about OLED displays. They have a burn-in feature. So if you leave an OLED display on, whether it's a TV or a monitor like this, if you leave the brightness full for more than 8 hours, sometimes the pixels can burn in what the thing is. So like if you leave a white screen up like that for 8 hours or longer, it will burn into the screen, into the OLEDs, and then it will never not be there. So it will stay there forever. So what you have to do is the screen dims itself to make sure that it changes a little bit so you don't get burn-in. And then these screens, bro, when you turn them off, they reset all the pixels. OLED. That's definitely an innovation which will happen. So I know that screens are going to get better because OLED has this annoying burn-in feature. I've never had a burn-in on a screen, but like apparently if you leave it for 25 hours with the same things on the screen at full brightness, those things will be they'll burn into the screen. I just need my light again. I moved house and I haven't got the light. I need a little like desk light, you know?
A rig light.
Yeah. What's up? What else is going off in the news, bruv? I want to hear some hilarious news things.
Well, I still think this the Brian Johnson thing was really interesting yesterday. He basically done this massive trip on the 5 gram of mushrooms, and then tweeted everyone's assholes.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what happens. I took a real strong edible in fucking I think
Milan. They gave him like a dose, and then he thought, "Oh, I've got someone at the front door. I'll be right back."
No, mate, this is the thing which happens. I took a real strong edible in where was it? Venice, and like you go through these periods of like ultimate euphoria, then you go into like really sketched out, and you're like, "Whoa, what is this guy doing?" And then you go paranoid, and then you go back into euphoria, and then you go into sketched out, and it's like this weird cycle you go through, and you like think about things in a different way. He probably just did that, where you just like think about shit differently. And then what did he say? Also, much love to all. It weirdly feels like my consciousness is deeply, oh god, intertwined with yours. Oh god, he's going down. Yes, this trip changed me. Probably not as you'd expect. People assume I am fearful of death. I'm not. In my darkest days of depression, I reconciled with death. Need a few days to collect my thoughts. We'll share more soon. Yeah, it's like a process. Like, The thing is, the real thing is about like I'm not a guy who does like psychedelics at all. I'm quite happy where I am. I'm quite happy doing my thing, just chilling. Not really into it, but yeah, I did an edible in Venice, and that was like an experience for sure. You just like you just see things differently, and you just see things you wouldn't normally see. But I would say with magic mushrooms, everyone's like, oh, it's really healthy and shit. I wouldn't say it's that healthy. Like it's probably like changing the balance of chemicals in your brain. And like I would say, if you're happy with the chemicals you have now in your brain at the levels they're at, just stick to what you've got. Because it's like you know, don't try and fix something that isn't broken, you know? Like why would you try and change something that isn't broken? If it's not if you have problems with like depression and like maybe you've got like some psychological traumas or something, or you've got like issues with building relationships, then maybe take the risk of changing your chemical balance to then make it better. But if you're in a good place already, I would say don't try and fucking fix something that ain't broken. Just chill. If you enjoy your life and you like your life.
Someone's smoking crack in the chat. They're saying MDX crypto. If your crypto portfolio had a personality, would it be a kill mob, a caffeinated squirrel, or a Greek tragedy, or something else? Whoever that, the moo point, you're obviously smoking crack, bro, with a comment like that. I don't even know what he's talking about there.
My portfolio, guys, let me give you what my portfolio would be like a really chilled Mexican dude eating a burrito with a big Mexican hat on, just living the life, just like that. It's like, hey, man, I got a chilled portfolio because I'm 98% Bitcoin. It's relaxed. And it's funny to say that because a lot of people who are out of crypto don't understand. They're like, oh, Bitcoin's fucking sketchy. Now, I think Bitcoin's going to just generally grow. By all objective numbers and factors of Bitcoin, looking at the last 15 years, it's just been going up, and adoption's been going up, and people are understanding it, and it's better than fiat. As soon as you use Bitcoin, you're like, oh, well, obviously that's better than fucking sending money in a bank. It might have its ups and its downs. It's like a Mexican dude who's real chill, but every now and again a really, really loud car drives past, and he goes, whoa! But then he gets back to his chill. Like that guy we saw on that chair, Pete. I'm going to go get another Weinstein, Legends. Who's up for it? You up for another whiny? Little birthday Weinstein.
Yeah, mate, keep them flowing. Are you done with Brian? I thought that was kind of cool how he did do that, but I thought it would actually be a live stream, not just a couple of tweets saying, oh, yeah, he thanked his mushroom and his
Mate,
salad.
it's like, most of us did this when we were like 18. Like, it's, he probably just went through that weird consciousness part where you start like reevaluating relationships.
The longevity side, like if it's actually going to help you somehow. But I guess it's mostly mental.
The thing is,
go on.
I was saying, like, you know, like I was telling you the other day, I was like, you know, when you have loads of responsibilities and you've got loads of things going for you which are good, and you're growing, and you're like, why would you throw a spanner in the works to try and change all those things? Like if right now you're not broken, don't try and like force it on you, because otherwise you might completely change your brain, and then everything you've done you might not even care about, and then you're like, he might even file with his staff. Like, I don't know, you might get really weird and start doing other shit.
Yeah.
What's that? Bring up some more shit on the screen. I'm gonna get whiny.
You lock and load and getting a fresh one in. It is a birthday stream. We'll see how long we're going for. I think we've been on for like an hour and a half, but there's a few more shit that I wanted to go through as well. Oh, we've got some bit of UK news coming up as well. Yeah, we've got some of that UK stuff, but we'll also go back to a couple of coins in a bit. We did have someone asking about a couple of different coins here. And also, if you do want to get the bot stuff, the automation stuff that Max was talking about, I've put the link in the channel. You can just pop your email address on, and we got the old Black Friday coming up in when is Black Friday actually? I think it's like a week or two away. But we've got Black Friday coming up, and then what is the URL? I'll get the landing page up. MDX specials.com waitlist. Yeah, it's going live not too long. If you just add your email, and then you can and you get spammed up when it's actually going live. What we're saying about CRO? Yeah, we'll definitely check out Crow in a minute.
Oh, this is a good one.
Get a bit of price action on the Crow.
Oh, mate, you've got the old fucking wait list up. Good lad.
Yeah, I was just saying, all you've got to do is just put your email address in, and then it will come up. You get a little. It might even be a bit of a Black Friday thing coming your way soon.
Yeah, we got Black Friday, and then we got the Botmaster. So basically, you just get, it's a limit. The thing is about Botmaster is, okay, there's 2 levels to it. So you have this, we're going to call it Premium and Platinum. But Premium, you get the guys giving you the settings. But then Platinum is when you actually get a call every week with the guy, the specialists, and they actually like help you do it as well. So it's like you actually get one-on-one mentorship in a way. But there's 2 different ones. So we'll release them as they come. But at the beginning, it's going to be you just get the settings, but then actually you'll be able to get even more support with someone who's going to come into your actual, do a call with them, and it'll show you exactly how to do it as well. I went for another Hefe Weinster. It's Weinstein Fenger Hefe Weinster beer.
Yeah, we had a couple of people in the chat asking about the beers. And also, we've got a couple of coins that people want to check on. What about Sonic?
Second migrant. Wait. Second migrant sent to France returns to the UK.
Yeah, this is a thing that's been happening where we've got a deal in the UK at the minute where we send 1 in, 1 out policy. So we'll send people back to France that have come here from there. But once already we've sent someone back, and then they've got on a boat straight back and ended up back in the UK. And then that was a big media circus for a few days talking about, and then it's happened again. I think it's just going to keep happening, and everyone who wants to get into the, for the news, for all of the media, it's great because it's a real flavor of the year, just getting on top of labor as much as you can. And I think they're right to do it as well. But these sort of mini stories about migrants are really interesting.
Bro, honestly, like the whole thing is just, I don't know why it's heated up so much, but it's just crazy to think that this fucking country we live in, England. I don't live in England right now, but it's just crazy to think that like we had like thousands of years of history of like defending our little island from like foreign, infiltration, and now it's just like happening on a scale of all of it is kind of for nothing. All of the fighting against like the Normans, the Romans, the fucking Vikings, all that invasion, and we lost a lot of those invasions. Like, you're letting in millions of people. Like, you're going to cause a lot of unrest for the people who live in England. Like, it's only a small place, guys. Like, I don't know why these people even want to come. It's a tiny island. Like, there ain't that much going around anymore. Like, you should be trying to get into, like, fucking, America is obviously another point, but at least America's got a bit more space. Like, England's tiny. Like, it's not okay, bro. It's just, and also I don't understand why anyone would have an argument against the fact that, like, if you came illegally, then just obviously you're illegal. I think it comes back to the analogy I spoke with Viking the other day. I was like, if someone stole your car, and you went to court to prosecute that person for stealing your car, these are like, look, guys, Icos and Weinsteiner. I'm living the fucking dream. I'm basically that Mexican chilling right now. But yeah, if someone came and stole your car, and then you wanted to prosecute him for stealing your car, you wouldn't go to court and then say, oh, the guy who stole your car said, oh no, but I'm just poor and I haven't got anywhere to live and I'm black and I've got this issue and I'm disabled and all these things. And then the court ruling just says, okay, well, because you're black and you're disabled and you got no money, you get away scotch-free. Like, no, you just be like, regardless of all the problems you have, you stole another human being's car. Like, you're going to go to jail for this, or you're going to be prosecuted for this, for whatever reason. Regardless of your fucking who you are and where you came from and your situation. It's the same thing what's happening right now. People are coming over illegally. They are illegally in the country. And then the court's like, oh, well, you know, you came from a bad country, you're black, and you got no money, so don't worry about being illegal anymore. You can now live here. It's like, no. It's like, otherwise there's no rule of law. It's like, well, your situation can change the situation you have in a court of law. So, okay, it means that you can do bad things as much as you want, and you can do things that are illegal as much as you want, but you're not going to get prosecuted because your circumstances might be different. It should just be like, no, you came into the country illegally, so you're illegal. Now you must leave the country, regardless of your situation. That's it. That's a hard fact. Like, why would it be any different to any other crime in England? And also, it happens with fucking knife crime and stuff. Like, it should just be like, dude, I'm sorry. You were dealt a really bad deck of cards. But we can't just go and say now the thing that you did is illegal is not illegal and you get away with it. It's just, I don't get why that's even controversial. It's probably just because English people are just trying to be like, I think Trump said it the other day. He was like, Europe is just like politically correct and trying to be really nice. But it's like, well, okay, I'll just go rob someone's car. Let's be nice. Let's not put him in jail. No, go to jail. Like, you went and robbed someone's car.
Yeah, I think I don't know too much about it, but when there's like a limit on, so you're allowed to steal X amount, and if it's over
California.
a certain amount, then you're
$400.
And that's happening, seems to be happening more in the UK as well. Like, police won't investigate burglaries if they're not over a certain amount.
Mate, it's you know that fucking famous saying, like, you give them an inch and they'll take a mile. It's like that. Yeah. It's like if you create a policy which says that we'll let certain people off for certain circumstances, then you'll just have lots of other people exploiting that inch, and then everyone will do it. Unfortunately, it's like a watertight bathroom. I just went through this process. It's like you could have every single crack in your bathroom can be completely watertight, but all it takes is one tiny fucking... It's like a ship. Let's get out of the bathroom analogy. That's too fucking...
I mean, read this story as well. It should be, if you can see it. Have a look at
I'll read that in a sec. I'm saying like a ship. It's like all of the ship is watertight except one hole. Guess what? The ship still sinks. It's kind of the same situation. It's like if you allow people to just come up with a story which they can get away with something with that story, everybody will just use that story, and that's what's happening. So you got a donkey, bruv, straight out here. So we got Drew. A donkey was raped. Oh, I've heard about this. A donkey was raped at a small town in England shortly after an influx of migrants from an extremely poor country in the Middle East. Okay. The animal, named Mace, was found unwell by her owner in Watchfield village near Shivlingham on Saturday morning. Her injuries were described on the Shivlingham and Watchfield community group on Facebook, which was stated there was a lot of blood.
Yeah, so they're basically saying an illegal immigrant has raped a farmer's donkey.
The post also stated there was a man's belt found in the field. And after a vet assessment, it was subjected to animal had been sexually assaulted. It's just fucked up, man. It's just so fucked up.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that you could...
Honestly, bro, only the Welsh can get away with this. Only the Welsh can do this, bro. Like, this is...
Surely that's not true. But yeah, like someone's saying in the chat as well, there's no background checks on any sort of people and stuff. But yeah, this is one of those stories that I don't think it's true, but it actually could be.
Thing is, like I said, like only the Welsh can do this, and we know it's happening a lot. There's a lot of sheep out there which are getting mutilated by the Welsh communities. What was that whole thing actually about? Like, you know, there was a thing at school where it was like...
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's still a thing, but I don't know where it's come from. But
it was like Welsh people are sheep shaggers?
Yeah, I don't know where that originates from, though. I think it's just...
I don't know if anyone watching, out of the 70 people watching, know about that, but if you're from England, for some reason, there's a joke in England where it's like, if you're from Wales, you're a sheep shagger. That's actually mad. But the thing is... I don't know how far it extends. The thing is, immigration isn't even bad. Like, the thing is, everyone who is in this like space at the moment, who are like left wing, let's say, they're always like, "Oh, you're so like anti globalization and you're racist and you hate immigrants and you hate black people, all this kind of stuff. The thing is, it's like, what was I saying? I had a point. Right? The Weinsteiner went to my head.
And the barley and the hops. It's the
barley and the hops. No, what the point was? No, I'm trying to say that I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I'm saying that a lot of people think that people who on the right now who are against immigration, they're like against immigration or migration at all. That's completely wrong. I'm completely pro immigration and migration for a business standpoint and also a country getting better standpoint, because all countries around the world, by nature, certain countries have people in those countries who are better at certain things. It's not like every country has a perfect line of the skills that each individual has in that economy. Like if you go somewhere like I don't know, go to Norway, the northern Norwegian areas, you're probably going to get like really good fishermen in those waters. Or for instance, someone who lives in near a forest in Brazil, they might be extremely good foresters. Or you might have a restaurant in Japan, which is incredibly good Japanese food because everyone's Japanese. Migration and immigration is absolutely key for a society to grow and get better, because there's no way that one country is going to have the skilled people in every sector that they need. For instance, a good example would be you're not going to find a Japanese restaurant in England that is better than a Japanese restaurant in Japan if the food is made by Japanese people in Japan and the food is made by Indians in England or English people trying to make Japanese food. Like, what you have to understand is that we need, as a country, to be able to vet and understand the talent from other countries that we need. Because zero migration is stupid. Because you're never going to compete with the best Japanese restaurant in Japan when Japanese people cook the food. Because Japanese people live in the country. They know the food. So if you don't allow any migration, you're never going to get a restaurant in London that's as good. You're never going to get a Japanese restaurant in London that's as good as a Japanese restaurant in Japan, because you have no Japanese people. So you need to have a system where you're like, yeah, let's let people in who have skills from all around the world, and the good people come in, and then the people who are illegal don't come in. Simple as that. Who's this brother? Oh, the Indian poop man.
Yeah, Tyler. Well, basically, he was getting threatened over the whole documentary he made on the poop throwing festival in India. And he was being apparently doxxed or threatened and all this sort of stuff from the Indians. They were just going for him. And he said he wasn't going to post his documentary about the poo throwing festival, but it was just a stunt. And then he's actually released it in the end. But yeah, you don't want to really mess with the Indians. We love the Indians, to be fair.
Yeah, man, Indians are legends, man. Like, I've been to India. I went to Jaipur. I went to Delhi.
Did you go to this one?
Yeah.
Did you go to?
I did the shit, everything.
Did you go? You did this festival?
I think it's I know it's cow poo, bro. No, I know this one. Yeah. No, I don't put it past them. They literally, cows are like sacred in India. If you run over a cow or kill a cow, you're probably gonna end up in a bad place. Cows are like sacred in India.
A poo. He's getting absolutely wrecked in there.
Thing is, I said this before, like cow poo isn't like that disgusting. It's just grass fermented in the stomach. It'd be worse if it was dog shit or fucking human shit, but it's not.
We've got a couple of crests and a couple of coins, and then I'm kind of out of stories. I think I've got to crack on.
Yeah, we need to get into Baldur's Gate.
We should check out Crow. I think we'll jump on Crow and also SEI.
Yeah, let's have a look. So let's jump into ETH. Crow. I'm a Crow guy, man. I'm a Crow dude. KuCoin's still got it going up. I saw that KuCoin's a bit of a dodgy one as well.
KuCoin?
There's nothing to be said with these charts at the moment, guys. We had that huge liquidity squeeze on alts. You know, like, they're just going to have to let the dust settle on them and see where they end up, where the posture is. If it ends up like looking like this, and then it comes back, and then it continues some sort of upwards trend, then fine. But if it's like that, and it just, it's difficult to know exactly right now. I would say that if you're an investor, and you believe in the long-term vision of these things, then yeah, it's a good time to buy. You've had a massive decrease in price. But I would say it depends on what you're looking at. As an investor, it's probably a good time to buy CRO if you believe in the long-term vision. But trading it, you're just getting into the woods here. You just want to wait until you have some sort of clear picture above moving averages, above some support, and don't force trades. Just wait for the trades to come to you. I like Crow though. I think it's a good company. I think it's going to do really well. Crypto.com in itself, imagine having the URL money.com or bank.com. I don't know how much these URLs are worth, but they're probably worth. That's a question for ChatGPT. All right, let's just see how much they're worth. Like, what? Because they're obviously owned anyway, so it's very difficult to know exactly because someone owns bank.com right now, so it just depends on what they want to sell it for. But what would you estimate it would cost to buy bank.com or money? But they're quite different. Let's just see, like, okay, they're going to take the actual websites of what are there already, but I need to make it more specific. Money.com reportedly sold for $20 million. Banks.com, $2 million. US 5. Money.com is likely to exceed $20 million. Okay, it's less than I thought. But I would say that even having the URL crypto.com is an asset in itself. But if it's only going to sell for $10 million, then it doesn't mean anything. But the URL crypto.com is a massive asset to be in this space. Like, they're going to have a longevity in the space just having that fucking URL. So if they can continuously bring retail traders or retail investors into crypto.com, their ecosystem, and they're using the card, it will probably do well as a company. So on the basis of just the URL, I'd invest in it. Because I invested in some fucking... that's as simple as that. Just on the basis of the fucking URL. If crypto becomes the next big thing, crypto.com will probably do well. Because everyone types in crypto.com. They have a lot of users. They have a good... I think the guy's called... the Weinsteiner's in my head now. But I know he's called...
Brian Armstrong.
No, that's Coinbase. He's called...
Oh, yeah.
Kirk or something. He's called Chris. He's called Chris. I can't remember the name. The CEO, it used to be a company called Monaco.com. I actually own... Yeah, Chris something. But I invested in Monaco back in the day. And I've done well on crypto.com, even to this day. It's been one of my longest holds. But actually, wait, let me tell you something mental, legends. This is a great company. I'm going to get you... One second. I'm going to do something right now. God, the Weinstein has really gone into my head. Empty stomach with 2 whinies. I was fasting before the whinies. Ooh, get that. Christ. Now I'll do it on my next... I'll do it on the next video next week. And I'm going to give you a fucking great credit card company. So I just got it myself. It took me 5 minutes, and I had a crypto credit card. So you get a debit card and a crypto credit card. All you have to do is KYC. It takes 5 minutes, and you literally have a credit card. It's fucking mental. Actually, Pete, have you got the link? I sent you the link. Put it in.
Send it. No.
Get that link, because guess what? If they use my referral link, they get 1% extra cash back. Let's get in there. Breaking Olympics ban trans woman from all female. Yeah. Yeah, voice of reason. Do this one. Look, get the balloons. Where are the balloons? No, that's not the balloons. Get the balloons out. Give me some. Yeah.
Is it Effa? Effa.fi?
Yeah. Put it in the chat. It's my referral link, but it gives you an extra 1% cash back on the credit card. So put it in the live. Yeah, guys, this is now. I'll pin it as well. This fucking company is a really good card. And Crypto.com has a great card. I use it. I get like 4% cash back. But this gives you 3% cash back. And if you use my referral link, you get an extra 1%. And you also get a credit card as well. So you can like stake crypto and then you just get all that in a credit. So it's called like borrow. So you can pay for things on your card, but you don't spend the crypto. You just get a borrow limit and then you pay a 4% APR on it. But that link there, that's a good company. I think EtherFi used to be a staking protocol. And then what happened is they got bought by some like TradFi kind of traditional finance company. And
Pivot.
they just made it sick recently. Should never be allowed to happen in the first place. Yes. Honestly, mate, I think this whole thing with the men competing women's sports was like the main.
It was kicking off because of the swimming. There was something to do with a swimmer, and then there was a boxer.
And boxing, yeah. No, but I think this was like the extent of how far feminism could go. I think this was like the wall for feminism, because what it actually makes you realize is that men and women are different. The thing is about this specific scenario when it comes to like, oh yeah, men can be women and women can be men. The problem with this is like you hit a hard barrier of biology, and this is as far as feminism can go, because what it makes you realize is that yes, like men are biologically in loads of different ways superior to women. It doesn't mean because men are biologically superior to women that it means men are any better in a philosophical sense than women. But what happened is feminists believed that if men were stronger than women, it meant that they were better. But the thing about this, it makes you realize, like, well, obviously, now we've seen it happen, men are stronger, faster, they are better at driving F1 cars, because F1 cars are women and men. You know, F1 is, you know, women can compete in the F1. Women and men can both do it. There's no barrier for women and men. It's multi. So it's like you can be a woman or a man, you can drive an F1 car. And a woman has only ever won the F1 once out of hundreds of men. So the thing is with
I
this,
actually didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
It didn't even occur to me, like, where I haven't even thought about why there are no F1 women drivers.
it's because women aren't biologically built to do what F1 drivers do. Like, they literally go through like multiple G-forces. You have to have unbelievable concentration. You have to have crazy fucking stamina. You have to have unbelievable focus. Like, all these things. Like, it's just, there's been one woman who's won the F1, and this is a sport that allows women and men to compete against each other. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, I think that what happened to the feminist movement is that they thought that because men were stronger and faster and could lift bigger things, that made them feel less superior. So they thought men were better because they can lift heavier things. But what it's made everyone realize is that no, yes, men are faster, stronger, better at this and better at F1, but it has no relation to how good you are in society of where your value lies, because there are other things that women are better at than men. But like, this is like I think this is where, like, as far as like the feminist, movement can go. It's like, okay, well, we can't have it, because, and also like women can't win anything because it's not fucking women jumping to compete against men, it's men competing against women. And unfortunately, if you have that scenario, that's against women's rights, because then you have no female winners in certain things. But having said that, another hilarious thing is this. If you look at car death statistics, you are significantly safer with a woman driving than a man. Significantly safer. In an everyday setup, every day driving up the motorway, driving down to your local shop, driving wherever, you are literally significantly safer with a woman behind the steering wheel. But no one thinks about that. Like, men drive faster and they take more risks and they die more driving cars. But everyone thinks, oh yeah, well, women must be less superior than men for driving because they can win F1 races. No, men can drive really fast and really fucking well in a very specific environment. But if you have a man driving and a woman driving, you're less likely to die when a woman is driving, because a woman, they drive slower, they're more cautious, and you don't fucking die. If you look at any numbers on any, I think it's like 70% male in car deaths. And that even goes to trading as well. Another crazy statistic, and Fahad can fucking clip this. If you're a woman, you have a higher probability chance of being profitable than a man in trading. You got 250,000 registered traders in the United Kingdom. Only 30,000 of them are women. So you got 200,000 men, 30,000 women. In the pool of women, you have a higher statistical chance of being profitable as a woman than a man. It's just that a man will make hundreds of millions of dollars. One or two men, or maybe in this specific example, the high-performing men will make more money than 90% of everybody else, even the women. But in the women bracket, women will actually have a higher chance of being profitable. It will just be smaller amounts of profit. So you literally, the synergy between men and women is that actually women are way better in so many different regards in the medium level. It's just that men have an ability to excel extremely further in lots of different things, even making money. Like, you know, men just make more money than women. Like look at all the richest dudes in the world. They're all billionaires, but women don't. And it's not because like fucking men are like against women. We're trying to like harm them and stop them from doing shit. It's just because the biology is different. Anyway, I think that's a good fucking point to end on when I drink my Weinstein Fanger. He only did for what, bro? What's this one, bro?
Oh, it's just about the magic, the shrooms that Brian Johnson did yesterday. He live streamed or live tweeted his whole shroom experience, but he was saying 5 grams, but actually it was only 2.5. I did think he was kind of like tweeting and stuff and up and running again pretty soon, because any big dose that I've taken in my life, it's definitely like a good 10 hours or something. It lasts for. Maybe that was acid. I don't know. I can't remember.
Mate, bro, fucking edibles on.
All last.
Mate, I did some weird shit back at uni, and I remember it lasted like 24 hours. It was like a fucking.
Yeah, it definitely can be like a good 7 to 10, 12 hours sometimes, depending on how strong it all is. But he did it. It was like 5 hours or something, and then he was. Tweeting and stuff, saying he was pretty much back. But I thought,
mate, imagine if the whole thing was just marketing. He didn't even do any. He just like
it kind of was at the same time. It's farmed loads of impressions and stuff from this, and there was like 40,000 concurrent viewers or something when he was on Twitter just live. Talking about it. So it is, and it's quite. To be honest, it's quite a good experiment, but. Yeah, he should make it clear that he actually only did half the amount that he said he did. Because
he's only changing the numbers by 100%. Can
you imagine first timers thinking, "Oh, I can do a 5 gram"?
Mate, I don't even know what that means, but I would say like I've just did a fucking edible in Venice and it lasted a long time, and that was just fucking THC. So I'm like, magic mushrooms? I don't know, bro. I've only ever done it once at the summer solstice in England, and I was just dancing with Druids.
Yeah, that's actually a sick place to do it.
Listen to this comment. I think we women can be very determined, but possibly less reckless than men, and we get less angry if a trade goes wrong. Not so much revenge trading, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Maybe. Fair comment. Yeah, all I know is the numbers, and the numbers. If you look at the numbers in England, so the United Kingdom has the highest amount of registered professional traders out of any country. Japan is quite close, but in terms of the population to the amount of traders, you got 250,000 registered financial traders in England, which is like crazy. That's like most other countries don't even have like construction workers at that level. So it's just everyone's trading, but you see that, men most of the time lose everything, but a very small percentage of them make everything, and women, it's just a little bit more vanilla, let's say. It's like they don't make loads, but they don't lose loads. But you have a higher if you're a woman, you have a higher chance of being generally profitable than men. Because, it probably comes down to like the basis of like testosterone and being a fucking idiot. Like men are more idiotic, I would say, in a lot of senses. And also, men do the most crazy shit. Men are just like, I'm going to go and die in a fucking ditch in Ukraine and get blown up by a drone. Like, what? And they all like, you need to do it, bro, to be a man. That's not happening with women. You know, like, you need to go and do it, girl, because you're a woman. Go and get blown up by a drone. Like, nah, men do stupid shit. Sunrise said, let's better in the traditional way. Life's better in the traditional way. I think I'd love a man to be physically stronger for me and earn more booty? Boodle? Wait, what? Are you from Australia, legend? Earn more boodle so I could look after the home and be feminine. Yeah. This is the fun. The stupid thing about women is they believe that being feminine is like somehow less amazing than being masculine. Like, it's so stupid. Honestly, it's so stupid. I kind of understand why though, because we live in a society where everything's looked at as like, how much money do you make, bro? What's your career path? What's your thing? What it's all about like numbers and all this like statistical bollocks. But really, the only reason men, generally speaking, as they get older, do anything is to provide for their kids eventually. So like, you know, men ultimately do everything they do to get more chicks and then end up just fucking giving money to their families. Because if you don't give, imagine if you became like a millionaire and then you don't do anything for your family. You're just like, well, what was the point? But honestly, I would say that in a lot of women, it's the other way. It's like they make the money for themselves. No, now I can be independent. No, the money's mine now. No, I'm not going to give to you. I'm not going to help you as a man. Like, imagine if like it happens all the fucking time. Like, as soon as women start making all the money, they're like, no, I'm not going to give you my money. You are a man. You should go and do it yourself. It's just like the way it is. It's built into thousands of years of fucking biology. And that's why I think AI, we said this the other day, Pete, we were saying that AI and all the things we're going to get from AI are going to abstract us away from like normal, let's call it like a normal, the word is this, the Weinstein is in my head. Normal primeval things that make you happy are going to get more and more difficult to realize that they're the things that actually make you happy. But I would say that if you go back thousands of years, the things that they did thousands of years ago, men and women, are probably the exact same things that make people happy today. So all these AI things and plug it into metaverse and all this kind of shit, it's probably not actually going to get you to where you want to be. Anyway, I'm going to have a fucking another one of these.
Yeah, look at this. SPF claiming that CZ, Sam Bankman-Fried claiming that CZ is actually Zach XBT. He's replied to Zach XBT on a thread saying, come on, CZ, don't you have better things to do with your time than this? This guy is saying, didn't they tell this soybean to stay off the drugs, especially in incarceration? I didn't. How can people like tweet and stuff from jail? I guess they're telling the.
Let's ask ChatG. I think it's because you have like criminal jails and you have like kind of like non as bad ones. Let's have a look.
You're allowed to just cruise and booze on X and Twitter and stuff when you're in jail.
How is SBF allowed to tweet in jail? I think it's because you have like the really bad ones and you have like more kind of like business orientated ones with money and they allow you to do it. Excellent question. Thanks, ChatGPT. Can you stop it though? I'm sick of ChatGPT being so nice.
It butters you up so nice.
I just want to, genuinely, I ask it the whole time. Like, okay, wait, I got one other point before we end this fucking stream because this is actually a hilarious point. I had a chat with my boy Will about this. This is actually funny. He's not personally on Twitter from a cell. Inmates in the US federal prisons, okay. Yeah, so it's like a metropolitan detention center instead of like a proper. Okay, well, what?
I've got to go and sort out. Yeah, I'll see you on the flippers, legends. Click the links.
See you later, legends. I'm gonna stay for one other thing. Listen to this. I think that the way people treat ChatGPT actually tells you a lot about who that person is. And the reason this is because a lot of people who are on the left spectrum, they do things just to look virtuous. They will say things and do things that they don't really mean or actually care about, but they'll say it just to look good in front of another human being. So, with ChatGPT, you can have a discussion and a conversation with something that has no moral input. It's just a thing which you can do. And you see a lot of people being extremely rude to ChatGPT. They're always rude to it. They're like, shut the fuck up, do this. And the way they interact with ChatGPT is actually quite rude. They would never do that to another person, but they'll do it to ChatGPT. And the reason is because secretly deep down, they actually would be like that to ChatGPT to all people, but because they're so fucking spineless and can't actually say what they want and they're virtue signaling little pricks, they actually change the way they are in a fundamental level to look in a certain way to other people, but secretly they might be all nice and good to you and all like, hey bro, how you doing? But if they treat ChatGPT like a piece of shit, that's probably how they would treat you if there wasn't the moral input of you being a human being and they just want to look nice. So I would say wait, let me get my fucking vape. People who treat ChatGPT in a very, very negative light, I think it can actually tell you a lot about who they are as a person. Because if you're treating a thing that has no moral input very, very badly, maybe you would treat everyone else like that very, very badly if it wasn't for your egotistical virtue signaling BS. Anyway, I'm getting a bit licked up in here. I've got my Weinsteiner. Is Pete still in the building? I don't know. Pete's gone. I'm going to have one more of these. And then I'm going to eat some food because I feel like these two whinies are getting me a little bit liquor Rooney-ented on the old blast-off session. I'll answer a few more questions with this vapey. I mean, I love when the man leads the what? White collar jails. Not me. The money I've made, I've used on my family for education, surgeries, rent. Yeah, pay for them. Yeah, I'm not saying in all cases. I'm definitely not saying that point in all cases. I'm just saying that maybe my point is this. Maybe men who provide are more inclined to provide for people that they have no attachment to, other than women. I think women are more, they find it difficult to provide for people who they don't know, or they don't see, or they don't have a relationship with. But I think men can do that. I think men can provide and do things for people they don't even really know, but do it because they want to. But I don't think women can do that as much. And that's not in all cases. That's a very broad statement, to be honest, but it's not in all cases. Let's get this whiny down, baby. 2 Weinsteiners on my birthday, and I'm feeling absolutely phenomenal. I might even have a fucking third. No, I'm joking. Then I'll get into piss territory. 1 turns to 2 and 2 turns to 10, legends. You have to remember, you can have 1 or 2. But if you go past 2, it's always 10. It's always 10. You can't get away from it. I've never, ever had a scenario where I have more than 2 beers or pints and not ended up on 10. True. I'd say the same thing about how people treat service workers, like waiters. Yeah. Very, very good. Yeah. No, I completely agree. You can tell a lot about a person who, the way they treat people who objectively have less power in a situation than them. You can really tell a lot. And I think that goes with ChatGPT as well. I think you can tell if you're treating ChatGPT like a piece of shit, you should probably look yourself in the mirror. Why is that? And if you really go down the rabbit hole, maybe take an edible or maybe do what Brian Johnson just did, you probably realize actually you're a little bit of a fucking prick. Let's have another. That guy's. Let's have another Rheinhessen and Bot beer. Let's get back on the beer topic. Crypto. Fuck off. Tell me right now. Okay, wait. I'm going to ask ChatGPT this question. Let me finish this vape. You can only... This is a hilarious question. Let me finish this. That's some good shit. I love ICOS. So basically, you can only choose one thing. What is the reason for wine? I always have to look at the bottle because I know how to spell it. Wine Heffenstephaner being so unbelievably, and I can't spell it right now, unbelievably amazing. Only one. What is the thing, chat? GBT, you tell me, because I'm going to finish my glass of this thing. Their yeast. Wow. What does it say here? If I had to choose just one reason, the single one truth, the core truth, sorry, behind the Weinstein finger, the Weinen-Stephaner tastes unbelievable. Well, I won't talk about taste, but anyway, their yeast. The ancient, method, I can't even fucking say this word. Meticulously cultivated Bavarian yeast strain is the soul of the beer. The invisible artist that paints every layer of flavor. Fuck me sideways. That is an unbelievable statement. It's the yeast that creates that signature banana clove vanilla harmony. The silky mouthfeel, the creamy head, and that alive feeling you get with each sip. Water, malt, hops can be copied, but with Weinstein-Stephaner yeast, perfectly for almost thousands of years, is truly one of a kind. That's why it's not just beer. It's liquid history powered by living yeast genius. Oh my god, I am so happy I'm drinking this motherfucker right now. Oh shit. That's a fucking note to go out on, legends. That is actually such a I need to just like put that on my wall. I'm gonna print that out and stick it on the wall with the Weinstein-Stephaner logo and have that written underneath it. The last quote. That is why it's just not beer. It's liquid history powered by living yeast genius. Oh my days. Happy fucking birthday to me. Yeah, I'm definitely going to slow it down, as I'll be out on the piss up tonight. I need a piss anyway. Anyway, legends, we'll leave it on that. You're all legends. Have a good one. I'll see you on the flippies. Get on the wait list in the description for the new bot master fucking thing. And these bot fucking tradable little legends will make you cash and kashish and cheddar chunk cheese, my friends. Anyway, I'll see you on the flippers. Have a good one. Cheers.